No.
We're still dropping some frames, but not like it was.
Hey, teacher, leave those frames alone. This live stream recording is not available. Are we on a new live stream? Do I even know? Seems alright.
I don't know why it's saying we're dropping as many as we are, but...
It's a lie. It's a goddamn lie.
Alright, fuck it. Whatever. We'll
Seems
just...
to be working. Alright. Yeah, looks like it's... I can see it.
You can, please.
I know.
Stop everything.
Set to 144p. Hit stop. Talk in the chat. Hey there, Scott. Hooray. Hey, I typed hooray chat window. There we go. Hooray. Hooray. Hooray.
That's terrible.
What?
Tweet. Oh, you just do something bad, Chuck.
No, I didn't.
You did a bad thing.
I
didn't you?
tweeted.
Oh, no. No. No.
It's
No,
out there.
Chuck.
It's out there.
No. It doesn't have to be. There's a
out there.
delete button.
It's
Chuck.
out there now. Come on, it's not the worst thing on Twitter right now. I can guarantee you that.
Matching the bar that is low
No,
already is
we
not
are not running
an
for president.
accomplishment.
Do I even retweet?
I don't know.
Yes.
I'm not feeling a retweet.
Come watch us get the Bloodfist. Chuck.
We did.
Chuck.
Hit it. Do it.
I got it twice. I got double fisted, I'll have you know.
There. I might retweet it, but not exactly.
What do you mean?
I had to comment first.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I'll retweet that one.
I retweet this under protest.
Yep, I just retweeted yours, not mine. Retweeted under duress.
Oh.
Fuck's sake, Chuck.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. We're better than this.
No, we're not.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You've got a point.
We don't have to act like it.
You've got a point, Chuck.
It's not an act.
Wow.
What?
My YouTube's just let me know all the time. Hey, we got a live stream going here.
Hey, fuckers.
Hey, we got a live one here. Take that shit off of Wi-Fi. Don't want to fuck with nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
Even though we're dropping frames.
We are.
I don't know why.
We
I'm
still
not,
got,
I'm not good with computers.
we've still got plenty more frames.
Yeah, we have enough frames.
Yeah.
Oh, there will be frames.
We're good here.
There will be blood. Am I right? Fist.
What the fuck is wrong with you tonight?
BJ's not here, so I can have some fun.
Oh, no.
When I have fun, he gets mad and leaves. You guys don't get mad and leave. You're dedicated.
We just know he's going to do it for us.
Maybe the bit rate's too high. What is 2500 in bit rate? That's because it doesn't have a number. It's like, is that in baud megabits per second? Bits per second?
man.
I mean,
Bump it down to 2,000.
give me something.
2,000.
Hey, bro. I
I don't know if it's going to change midstream. I don't know if you can change it midstream. Can we change horses midstream?
Yes.
And it's still dropping all the frames.
Goodbye, frames. Get out of here. We're dropping you.
I don't
Like
know.
a mobile
the number's
carrier.
going down, so maybe that helped. I don't know.
The drop frame number is going down?
The percentage is going down, and we're not dropping more frames. So
All right.
All right.
We're going.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, now we're spinning.
Hoo boy. Oh, no.
Let's just go. Nothing we can do.
well, all right. Kilobits per second. Math.
Carry the one.
So, fuck. I don't give a shit anymore.
Okay.
Y'all can hear us, right? We're going to put this out on regular proper audio.
Yes.
I can't be forced to care right now.
Our audio bit rate.
I can't even do math. I can't do kilobits to megabits to bits. I don't care.
Well, wouldn't 2,500 kilobits
Be 25 megabits, right?
should be? Yes.
It's a lot.
That is
Especially if you have a 10 megabit upload.
That's true.
Yeah. But why would it all of a sudden have jumped up that high?
I don't know. I didn't change anything unless they were just like, hey, everyone's on fucking Google Fiber now because we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you should get on Google Fiber, dude.
Hawks.
Why are you still on whatever you're on? It's clearly inferior.
Yeah.
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 I actually think they were laying fiber near my house.
Really?
Yeah, down Kernan.
Huh.
Yep. I guess that's one of those cases where it's good to live near a college.
Oh, yeah.
Be the first to fiber.
How them frames now?
Fiber.
Getting better?
Fibrous.
Acceptable frames.
Okay.
Yeah.
Acceptable frame dropping. I also switched it to variable for bit rate, so.
Oh. Okay.
BJ is feeling under the weather.
Uh-huh. Get it?
He inhaled too much hurricane.
Yeah. It gave him the sniffles.
He drank it up.
That's code for he was buried in rubble from Matthew.
No. He's
Oh,
all right.
I thought that was under the weather.
No.
Oh.
No.
It's underwater.
No.
He washed away into
No.
the sea
He's alive.
with all the
He
dogs.
lives furthest west out of anybody.
He's
All right.
He's
just
furthest
home.
away from the coast.
He's at home.
He's at a farm.
Convalescing.
You know Jacksonville's further west than Pittsburgh
Cool.
and
Yeah.
Orlando.
Wow.
Just throwing these things out there in
Yeah.
case you didn't know. In case you didn't know.
Hashtag Jacksonville facts.
Jack's facts.
Get the facts, Jax.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But no. BJ's not here.
No.
We fired him.
Into the sun.
Yeah. We told him, you have the sniffles. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then we killed him.
It's the only way to be sure, yeah.
Yeah, just to be sure.
Yeah.
I can't.
If someone has the
I can't get
sniffles,
sick.
they can infect you. Their dead body can't
Yeah.
infect you.
Exactly. That's
As long as you
That's
burned
simple
it.
science.
Yeah, as long as you dispose of it properly. For fuck's sake.
in a kiln.
Man, I could use a kiln.
Get killed in a kiln.
Ah. Go on a kiln spree.
Mm-hmm. Heyo! That's it.
All right.
Oh, let's get this. Let's get like.
All right.
I just don't even feel like waiting anymore.
Yeah. I don't have sniffles. I just got a sore throat.
Dicking with live stream stuff just takes it out of me, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it really
immediately.
does.
It's like fuck. Computers, man. Fuck computers.
Man. One day we will.
Yeah.
One day.
That's true.
One fine
I've
day.
seen those videos. The future of VR.
One fine day, we will all reach that future. But for now,
The true singularity when you're by yourself with your computer.
yeah.
All right. All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey, BMFcast.
Episode 345.
Whoa, that's a
Numbers.
sequence of numbers.
Approaching 350.
That is an increasing number
Yeah.
every time. So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm Chuck.
Yep, no BJ this week. He's
He's under the weather.
yes.
He's feeling poorly.
Not literally.
No.
He's feeling poorly.
No.
Yes. Yeah. We took a week off.
Mm-hmm.
We all survived a
Yeah,
hurricane.
we were all under the weather
Yeah.
Yes.
last week.
Yeah.
Well, you guys were.
Yeah, no, you were out of town.
I left town.
Just tell us about your weekend.
No.
I did get to come back to work and go, hey, did I miss anything? And everyone goes, yeah, you fucker, a hurricane.
Yeah. So we're alive.
Yeah.
That's
Mostly.
good.
Hooray.
BJ's not.
Yeah.
He's under
He
the
is
weather.
alive. His home is not flooded.
No.
He's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally what I'd say here is each and every week we go ahead and we watch ourselves a quote unquote movie, bad movie, but you know, not each and every week because sometimes
blew it.
hurricanes.
Yeah.
Extenuating circumstances.
Sure.
For the most part.
Yeah. But we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. We come in here and talk about it for the first half. Then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and robot jocks.
Robot jocks.
Hooray for robot jocks.
However, there are bad movies. Listen, stay away. They get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags, as in douchebags after Twilight.
Oh, boo, that's not our thing.
I don't even know what that is anymore.
Yeah.
Sparkly vampires or something.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to find a new one soon.
Sure.
Okay.
It's approaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're starting a new thing. Or we were going to start a new thing last week. But
Yeah.
We're doing Blood Timber.
Bloodtober.
Bloodtober. I don't know what fucking month it is.
Yeah.
My God, this hurricane fucked with us.
Both of them.
Man.
We're out of practice.
We're just doing so much blood. It's carried over into Blood Timber.
Yeah.
And Blood Emberary.
Yeah.
Blood A.
Yes. Blood A times. Blood A good times.
Okay.
But no, Bloodtober
Yes.
is what we're doing. Because we were like, well, Chuck's watched a shitload of horror movies in 31 and 31.
Right.
YouTube.com/watercooler.
Of course is where you can find that.
So rather than
I
subject
love the
him,
look on his face every time we say it.
Rather
He's
than
always disgusted with us for pimping his own site.
rather than subject him to like any more horror movies, we were like, you know what? We like things that have blood in them. Like, the word.
Yeah, that's it.
We sure do.
We like engorged things
Yeah.
full of blood.
Yeah, fucking
And,
nailed it, man. Just give me a blood pinata and I'm happy, man.
Movies that have the word blood in them are generally kind of up our alley. They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're usually kind of violent and you
Yep.
know full of blood.
Right.
So we started with Bloodfist, like you do. 1989. Worst intro ever.
But we're having fun at least.
Yeah.
My God.
Fuck. I don't know.
Don the Dragon Wilson.
Yeah.
Somehow his debut on the BMFcast.
Yeah.
How? I don't know how.
Yeah.
How it took 345 episodes to get.
Well, you know what? I usually edit the plot summary to take people's names out of it. But you know what? Don the Dragon Wilson plays retired kickboxer Jack Ray, who travels to Manila after his brother is killed. Who was he was favored to win a kickboxing championship. His brother, Jake realizes he must enter the actual competition himself to flush out his brother's killer. So, brother killed mysteriously after a competition which he was favored to win. Don Dragon Wilson gets the news, goes to Manila, enters the same contest.
Right. And then credits.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you see Bloodsport?
Yeah. I was going to say, you seen Kickboxer?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, technically, this came out before Kickboxer.
Okay.
Like,
Yes.
by 2 weeks, I think. But,
So they read
Bloodsport.
the script.
Yeah, they read the script or Bloodsport,
Yeah.
because it's kind of the same thing.
Because, yeah, it's a Roger Corman produced picture.
Yeah, he may have just, like, seen a trailer for Kickboxer and be
Yeah.
like, let's do that before and get it out before they do. That seems like his kind of MO.
That is a Roger Corman staple. Yes. Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, we don't really even get to know his brother. In fact, like, the way the movie opens, it looks like the end of the movie.
Kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. 'cause I'm like,
it
who
is
are
very
we
much a
watching?
climactic fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, because
we
like,
joined right near the end
yeah,
of it.
it's a guy. We know it's not any of our stars because we didn't really mention. Don Dragon Wilson is in this. So is Billy Blanks.
Hooray for Billy Blanks.
Yeah. BMFcast alone.
I don't believe he has any lines in the movie, though.
He growls.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is there
kinda
strictly
growls.
to kick people in the head.
Yes.
But there's other actual martial art champion people making up the cast.
Yes.
They're kind of the two that survived into acting, world more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ones we would know.
Yeah. But like we're watching this dude, we can tell it's not one of the main people, and it looks like the end of the movie because it's like, what are you doing? You're supposed to take a dive or something like that. First off, the audio on this movie is horrible. Like, so there's going to be a lot of times where we don't really know
There's a lot of
exactly.
ADR.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what they said because sometimes the audio is that terrible.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also a lot of times it's, oh God, the scene just ended,
Yeah.
and we have to get like a sentence worth of dialogue into half a second.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that like hidden ADR. The person has just turned their head, and it's like, okay, no, I got to say this.
Right.
And scene.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're just kind of seeing the brother who we don't know yet, but we're just seeing two people fight in a...
Yeah. And he's getting beat
Yeah.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
Got the blood coming out of the mouth. This movie's not shy about bloody faces.
No.
Which I appreciate in martial arts movies.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's getting beat, and then finally he's just like, you know what? Screw this.
Yeah, fuck this shit.
Yeah. And
I've
proceeds,
turned the tables and fight you now.
and proceeds to beat the crap out of the guy. And
Kills
win.
him.
Yeah.
Like, kills him pretty much dead right there on the mat.
Yeah. Butch kills that boxing man. Dead.
And he's like, woo, I won. Let's
Yeah.
have some drinks.
I'm the Bloodfister.
And they walk down this alley that's totally safe.
Yeah.
And it's not safe at all because he gets jumped.
Well, yeah, he's also very drunk
Yeah,
Yes.
he is
at
very
this
drunk.
point.
He's just staggering
Which would
around.
explain how a champion fighter who just killed a man in the ring can be taken down
Yep.
in an alley.
But he gets jumped and he gets dead.
Yep.
And then a man steals his hat and a man steals his money.
Yep. Because, hey, man,
And then-
life is cheap in the Philippines,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
We don't really know that. I mean, he's not moving very much, but we don't really know he's dead.
No.
I mean, it just kind of looked like he got the shit beat out of him.
Right.
And guy took his stuff. And then it's pretty much, hey, we're in America. There's Don the Dragon Wilson working at this gym with a dude named Hal. Big, hairy, like, hippie dude.
Yeah.
And it's Hal and Jake's self-defense gym or something like that. And
I think it's Hal and Jake's. Yeah, it is
Yes.
self-defense. I thought it was Taekwondo for a minute.
yeah,
but
it's,
no,
it says
just
something about self-defense, yeah. And it's weird. It seems like they're got this shady operation because they're doing this thing where Don the Dragon Wilson is. I'm just gonna say Don Wilson from now on.
Okay.
He doesn't need his little nickname every
Jake.
single time. Jake is punching this inflatable punching bag, and they've got some sort of thing that makes it kind of like deflate / explode. It's confusing. It's just like it's not set up. It's just like, all right, here you go, 3, 2, 1, poof, and he punches and it explodes, and all the kids go, yay! And then he sits down in the ring and proceeds to like tell them boxing stories, and they're like, how'd you get that scar? And he's like, well,
I donated it to my kidney to my half brother.
Yeah.
Like, nah, come on, how'd you really get it?
he's like, all right, there's this knife fight, and there's like 10 guys, and they're like, yeah.
And they all stabbed me in the same place.
And basically, they're just like, wow. And it just sets up that he's missing a kidney.
Yes.
And that's why he's not a fighter anymore.
Right.
Because to fight with one kidney is suicidal.
Yes. But it never comes up again.
I was about to say,
No, because he gets.
does not come up ever again.
I mean, it's pretty much like they're hanging out in the office, and he gets a call from Manila. And Hal just goes on this little memory nostalgia trip.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of, like he's trying to take this call that's like a bad connection, a 1980s phone call connection from Manila, and probably with the delay and everything. And like he's like, hello, who is this? And Hal's just having a conversation of one. He's
Yeah.
like, I had some good times in Manila, man.
That's my favorite place.
Manila.
Let me tell you about this massage parlor in Manila.
Basket tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Don Wilson's like, my brother's dead.
Yeah. He's like, oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
In Manila?
That's like the best place, man. How'd that happen?
Doesn't sound like my Manila.
So Jake gets himself the best seat on a plane
Oh, man.
plane ticket from LA to
Also, the
Philippines.
tallest plane ever.
Yes. With some dope wallpaper.
Yeah, it's got some dope wallpaper, and he has 2 seats all to himself.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know why, but he's got his luggage just open on the seat next to him.
He's got a bag full of t-shirts.
He does. Hal and Jake's self-defense T-shirts. They're going to franchise in Manila.
Yep.
And he lands in the Philippines, and it's classic American guy goes to other country with no plan. It's just like, hello, do you speak English? Like, hello, como está usted? Like, I don't know, parlez-vous something?
Yeah.
Hello, and finally somebody, I don't know, like
gets
a
his
kid.
back. Well, he
Kids
gets-
steal his bag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kid's still back. He chases them down and
Beats up 2 of them. Now, these are children, by the way.
teenagers.
They're teenagers.
They're
Still.
teenage toughs.
Teenage tough.
Beats the hell out of the teenage toughs and gets
Oh, he
his-
did. Well, one of them kicked him in the stomach first.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. So he threw that
I'm not
guy.
saying it's a bad thing.
He
I'm
threw
just
that
saying
guy
it's-
over a truck.
Yeah.
And then.
He did. Well, he threw that guy towards a truck, and then the guy threw himself over the truck.
Hey, potato.
Fair enough.
But yeah, he beats a couple of them up, and the other one's like, "Okay, man, here's your bag."
Yeah.
Gives it back to him.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah. And then he steps out and looks at one of the signs in the street. It says Chinatown Police Station. To which he says,
He misquotes Chinatown.
Yeah. He says,
He's like, Jake, it's Chinatown or something like that.
forget about I can't even remember.
Yeah,
he gets it wrong. That's all I know.
Yeah, he does.
But I can't even say it how he gets it wrong because I can only hear the real one in my head.
Yeah, forget it, Jake.
But
It's
yeah, he makes a
Chinatown.
Chinatown Jake joke.
Yeah.
We're like, all right,
Fun.
you got your one guy.
Yeah. Thanks.
But yeah, then he goes into the precinct and meets with the lead detective or whatever,
Yeah.
who opens a drawer and he's like, yeah, there's your brother. And it's just like there's an urn. He's like, well, I guess it's going to be tough to identify the body from here.
He did specifically say, I've got to go to Manila to identify my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then they open up a drawer full of urns. Like, that's their cold storage. It's
Yeah.
just urns.
Yeah. Because we kept making the joke he was going back to get his kidney back.
He's like,
and he had he's got 12 hours to find his brother's body and rescue his kidney. But they just cut to, here's an urn. You're like, oh,
The
shit.
doctors refused to perform the operation. Therefore, he had to use his Bloodfist.
But
Yeah.
they have pictures of his bloody brother's
Yes, just
body.
mangled corpse. Like, here,
Yeah.
take a look at this, and
Yeah.
here's the police report.
That's him, right? He's
Yeah.
like, fuck, yeah.
The cop, by the way, is like one of the biggest guys in every Philippine anything movie. He was in all like the Pam Grier women in prison
Yeah.
movies from there. I mean, he's a staple of all these things. He like just that guy is in everything. His filmography is insane. So
Yeah.
I thought he was going to have a bigger role in this, and he totally doesn't.
Yeah.
But he's really just there to be like, okay, you got what you came for. Now get the hell out.
I do like the flavor of this scene where Jake's kind of looking over things, and this guy is just like yelling at other people.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, he's getting phone calls, and people are giving him files, and he's just angry
and
at
they're not
everything.
subtitling any of
No,
it. So
it's
it's just like it feels as confusing as it would for Jake being in there.
Yeah.
But he finds a red sash or a red piece of cloth, and he's
Yep.
like, "What is this?" And he's like,
Don't worry about that.
He's like, I know what you're thinking, Jake, and I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Get on a plane and go back to the U.S.
Yep.
today. Mm-hmm. And he's like, nah, then there wouldn't be a movie.
Yeah.
So,
I'll not do that.
yeah.
So wanders around a bit more.
And happens to see two guys walking around with the red, jackets on.
Yep. And they're going into the house of the Red Fist or whatever. So he just walks in basically, and immediately he's peeking through a fence to watch a bunch of dudes train, and two guards you're seeing point of view him with his face through the fence, and then two faces on either side of him pop into the little circular cutout on the fence, and he's
scowl him away.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, but he's not accepting that.
No. He hides his bag of T-shirts, and he hops the fence, and he goes on top of the wall to watch one of the kickboxers just beating the hell out of these guys. Like, everyone's coming up to challenge him.
Yeah.
And he's just, he's breaking arms and
He's
giving
Mohawk
people
Man.
Indian burns and
Yeah,
just
yes.
horrible things.
He's doing the thing where he grabs their hand, and then they go,
Yeah.
you're putting pressure on my hand. But so he's like watching that, and then like suddenly two guards with sticks have surrounded Jake on the fence, and they have a little bit of a fight, and then Jake drops down, and the two guys hit each other and fall over. And the people who were watching the fight are now watching this, and they're all like, "Yay!" Except for the dude fighting, who's like, "Grr."
Yeah, he's not happy. Someone's taking his shine.
Well, he's also basically our Tong Po from Kickboxer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, hey, big muscular dude who looks evil all the time.
Yeah.
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 I wonder if he's going to be the guy he has to fight at the very end.
Probably.
Yeah.
But so he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I
and
guess."
then he just has to run away because more guys with sticks show up. So
Yeah.
he runs along the top of the fence and.
He discovers his bag is gone.
No, well, he jumps onto a tuk-tuk that's driving by or
yeah,
whatever.
that's right.
Well, it's not a tuk-tuk, but it's a little
Tuk-tuk.
one of those little buses.
Yeah.
Little mini bus, little one. And
It's really the bus from the Great Muppet Caper.
yeah,
Just go to
but that's how he gets away. And he comes back, and he goes and looks for his bag. It's
Yep.
not there.
no.
But there's a guy there who's like, "Oh, you're always in such a hurry."
He's painting. He's drawing stuff
Yeah.
over in a gazebo.
Yeah, and Jake's like, "Hey, man, there's a bag here. Did you find it?" And he's like, "Oh." He's like, "I'm in a big hurry. I got to get somewhere." He's like, "Oh, you're always in a hurry. I might know something. I might have your bag.
Yeah.
Here's your bag." I'm a guy.
I might know something. I know where your bag is. Here it is.
Yeah.
I know where it is because I took it.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it is.
Yes.
But he kind of befriends Jake.
he does, yeah.
And
He's like, "Come on, let's go to this bar.
no.
Well, I'll tell you all about things, stuff." starts explaining who like the Red Fist are and everything, and there's a table on the other side of the bar where a bunch of them are sitting around playing cards, and it's loud and raucous, and Jake just keeps looking over there.
He's like, man, what's those guys' deal?
Yeah, and this one guy, clearly the American of the bunch, just looks back. He's like, "Hey, what's your deal? What are you looking at?" And Jake's just like, "Nothing." Like immediately, just like nothing. Just like, hey, okay, well, I'll say that to my face. What are you looking at?
So this guy, they're on like an upper level kind of, and he hops down off the upper level and gets in Jake's face, and he's like, "What are you looking at, man?" Yeah. And Jake's like, "Nothing, man." And he's like, "What are you looking at?" "Hit me."
Yeah.
Well, even before this, there's a little bit of a thing that's kind of important to the rest of the movie, only because it's kind of goofy how it keeps coming back up. Is there was another guy at the table who was trying to put hands upon the waitress that was serving them, and he kind of was like, "Hey, stop that!" And then like hands her a fair sum of money, I'm guessing, and is like, "Take the rest of the night off." And that's it for this scene. She will reappear.
She stealthily appears in many scenes, but so he's like, "Hit me."
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
and just like, "What?" And then so they kind of this American guy just starts kind of tossing Jake around, and they end up on the floor, and he's like, "Come on, punch me! I'm bluffing. I've got a pair of twos. Help me steal my money back."
And Jake goes, "A pair of twos?"
Yeah.
He's like, "That's all the money I have."
It's all right. It's really weird because based on like the way he was acting throughout all the other things in this movie, it's really weird that our hero was just like, "Yeah, I'm in on this scheme to basically steal money from the poker table."
Yeah, because he was antagonizing the guy to begin with,
right?
And then it's just like, "Yeah, all right, I'm with you."
And they do this whole thing where he throws him up over the partition where they were at, and he grabs the money, and he's like, and he basically gets like grabs the money, lands on the ground, and is like, "Let's get out of here." It's like,
let's take this outside.
Well, no, I mean, he's kind of like, we got away with it, and like right in front of the guys, is like, they can hear you, you know, right? And, but they just walk out of the bar like arm in arm, like we're best friends now.
Well, they're arm in arm best friends, like bosom buddies walking down the street, but they're also like fake talking, like they're still fighting.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, don't hit me again."
He's like, "Ah." And he's like, "I'm going to show you around town." And they walk literally 2 doors down, and it's like, "Here's my place. Let's go.
You live here now, Jake."
Yeah, you're here. Enjoy everything that is mine.
And this is where he, like, the only way to describe his friend through most of it is a really happy, coked up dude.
He's like a human run-on sentence.
Yeah.
He's just everything that comes out of him, it's like it starts in the middle of a sentence and ends before the sentence would end. It's it's this weird, just like, we were fighting in the...
he's this human. He's this human puppy dog just bouncing around.
Yeah,
and he's like, "All right, yeah, well, my name's Baby because my parents could never make up their mind, so they just kept it." And he's like, and Jake's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah,
and
it's like, "I'm gonna turn on the shower, but I'm also gonna puke."
No. Yeah, because somehow, like, between getting there and getting to that, like, leaving that place and getting to the house, he's just like got.
Oh, he's shit
high and drunk.
He's totally just
at
like,
the same time.
He's high on the scheme.
Yeah,
it's like we pulled it off. I am so wasted.
And then he's like, "I'm going to take a shower."
Yeah, and he has a note that it opens and says, "I'm on the roof. Come get me." And he's like, "Take care of this." So Don Wilson goes up to the roof, and there's a lady up there.
Yep.
Kind of dancing, kind of aerobicizing, kind of just, I don't know. There's a lot of things in this movie that happen to Don Wilson where he will look at something and what he's looking at is in slow motion, but he is not. It's very strange. But so she's up there dancing in slow motion, and he is moving towards her in regular motion, and then she's just like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Jake." And she's like, "Oh, great, an American."
Yeah, first she says something in what's the language of the Philippines?
Tagalog?
No,
that's a cookie.
Tagalog. Is that not?
I don't know.
I think that is.
We don't know.
We should have looked this up beforehand. But she says something to him in the language of the Philippines.
Yes, in the beautiful language of the Philippines.
This is where we show our horrible xenophobic whiteness.
I think I added an "in" by mistake, but it's Tagalog.
He's right.
Oh, they do? Okay. Yeah. So she says something to him in Tagalog, not tag-along, according to Chuck.
I threw the "in" in there by mistake. That was a Freudian slip of cookies.
And he's like, and he gives us like, "What?" And she goes, how long have you been up here?
Long enough to see whatever the hell it is you're doing.
And she's like, oh, another American.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you took him and got him drunk, didn't you? And he's like, what?
I just got here.
Yeah.
I live here now, but
Yeah.
I just got here.
And somehow she immediately pins that he's from Southern California,
Yeah.
which is weird. But
Well, she uses his accent to determine where he's from, which, by the way, we should talk about the way that Don the Dragon Wilson speaks,
yeah.
because for the longest time, we were all struggling with who the hell does he sound like? Mm-hmm. And none of us were sure, is he being dubbed? What's happening?
Yeah, I have to be honest. I don't think I've ever seen another Don Wilson.
I haven't either. This is the first. I mean, I've always been aware of him, but I've never seen anything he's ever done.
Weird that it's worked out that way.
So he, for some reason, he's not trying to do it or anything. It just so happens that he sounds like Michael Biehn from Aliens. And then once that clicks into place, that's all you hear the rest of the time is that guy. So I don't know. Maybe they grew up in the same town. it's just
He sounds exactly like Michael Biehn.
Yeah,
Like, we weren't sure if he was dubbed by Michael Biehn for a while.
but he's not. Now, he dubs himself a lot in this, but you can hear natural sound on occasion, and it's definitely his speaking voice. So enjoy that during the film. Now that you know it, you won't waste any time trying to figure it out and not paying attention to the glorious movie that is unfolding in front of you. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, they go back downstairs, and I think Baby has started to take a shower with his clothes on because he's kind of wet but
He's
still
still
dressed.
coked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just
And she's basically like,
Oh, you got him drunk. Great.
yeah. Well, and she's also like, Jake, you don't have to stay here. You know, don't worry about him. You're good. Thanks for bringing him back. Get out of here. And he's like, no, deal's a deal, man. He owes me dinner.
yeah.
Yeah.
A life debt
So
is owed to me.
they go on a dinner sort of date thing.
Yeah, they go to the noodle cart.
Yeah. He and the girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, it's not established who she is. If they say it, I don't remember.
I believe they did say it's
Did
his
they?
sister.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Okay, because I, for a while, was not sure.
Yeah, when he pops out of the shower, I believe he's like, hey, this is my sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I caught that because it definitely comes back later because
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
but I just meant up to this point, I was like, well, is that a girlfriend? Who is that? But, okay, yeah. But they go to the noodle cart, have a meal. She's listening to tapes of how to speak the language.
and it's odd phrases.
Yeah, it's my car needs servicing. And then how do you phrase that a different way? My broken car is in need of service. The servicing on my car is defunct.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the
Is there a recall on my vehicle?
There is sauerkraut in my wiener.
How does one get the gold from the airbag?
Is your daughter 18?
Yeah, so that, they have a date, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the lamest date, though, because she's just sitting there listening to that the whole time.
Yeah, and I don't.
Yeah. But they're good. After
Yeah.
that, it's training time, man.
Well, he goes back to guy who stole his bag, and I just how they get from point A to point B, I don't know, but it's just, oh, so you're here looking for your brother's killer, and it's tied to this fight. Okay, let's train you right now. And man. You do training montages after you established the dude for a little while.
Yeah.
This starts with the training montage, and that's it. It's just like, we will now start your training, and it's a montage.
Yeah. Of him having to run up a mountain, and if he gets, I guess in a certain time, he gets to have the mango.
Before the sun reaches its apex,
Oh.
he gets a mango for breakfast.
So he can judge the apex however he wants.
But now, intercut with all this are all the other dudes training, because the guy has taken him through the gym to introduce
That's right, yeah.
introduce the unique character that is each and every person in there. There's one dude, kind of an American-looking guy with a mustache, who can only fight to music, and then there's Mean Mohawk guy and Billy Blanks.
Yeah, well, Mean Mohawk guy, known for he was napalmed in Vietnam.
Yes.
And now that he has grown up, he takes out his aggression on his opponents and sometimes murders them.
Yes, including his sparring partner at that moment when they walk by.
Yeah.
That man is dead.
Yep. Gets a knee to the back of the head. Dead.
Yeah. So they start training.
Which it makes me wonder, who spars with this guy? Who's like, you know what? That guy who murders people, I bet he's all right.
I think they just bring people in sight unseen. They have no idea.
Hey, yeah, here, fight huge Mohawk guy.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
He'll pull up.
Yeah.
But
just
no.
tap him on the shoulder, and then he won't break your fucking neck.
Yeah. Nope. He murders them all.
Yeah.
So Don Wilson has to run up a mountain, which is in reality a volcano.
Yes.
An active volcano.
Yes.
Which I believe he has said that he would not do that again.
Yes. It's very dangerous.
But yeah, he runs up a volcano and runs along the top of it.
Apparently, the plan was to have him run up temple steps.
They couldn't find any.
They couldn't find any in the Philippines.
So, yeah.
That sounds like a Roger Corman thing.
And it's just a lot of like, okay, now you will kick stuff, and here's some bottles, kick those.
Yeah, well, he establishes, Jake's a boxer. He's not a kickboxer.
Right. Now you have to learn how to do that.
Yeah, and his trainer guy says, who's more dangerous, the guy with 4 clubs or the guy with 2 clubs?
Yeah.
He says, don't be the guy with the 2 clubs, loser.
So they gotta
So
kick stuff.
you gotta kick a lot of bottles, son. A lot of bottles.
And, you get Billy Blanks doing the splits, and some kids throw, like, fruit at Don Wilson, to which he...
It was a run by fruiting.
He slaps away in slow motion, which looks really dumb.
Well, there's one where it appeared... Because, the kids start, and they're just pelting him with these berries or whatever, and then the Quan guy gets into it.
Yeah.
And there's one where it appears that, like, for whatever reason, he barely got the thing to him, so he had to kind of, like, reach out and slap at it.
Yeah.
And it's, in slow motion, it's just like...
It just looks really
wow,
dumb.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they waste their slow motion on some weird stuff in this movie, because there's fake slow motion during some of the fight scenes, which is like, come on. If you're going to film anything in slow motion, make it the damn fight scenes.
Yep.
But yeah.
This movie...
But dates to the face, they filmed that in slow motion.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Nuance is not something familiar to this film. This film is, my God, we've got to get this made and out in 2 weeks so it could be in the video store by the time Kickboxer comes out in theaters. Yeah. So that montage goes on for a while.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then it's kind of...
I was going to say, like, they kind of blew something in the montage here because... I guess it's kind of at the end of the montage. She finally gets up the mountain in time or whatever. And in that, when he finally makes it, they kind of establish there's this tree that when he gets up at the top and he stands at a certain point, he looks at the tree and the sun's like right there. And I guess that was like his, I know I made it if I get here and I can see the sun and it's in the crack of this tree, the split here. But they never set that up beforehand where I was like, oh, well, it's just past it now.
They were showing it, but they weren't explaining what he was supposed to do with it. But even during this montage, you're seeing like Baby spar with people, but he's just being a total dipshit about it. He's just like, "Woo, I'm in a fight. I'm gonna punch you. Come on, woo, we're having a good time here." It's like, dude, take it seriously. You're the best friend. You're gonna die, so you need to at least make it look good.
Well, which is weird because later on he's actually a pretty good fighter.
He's not bad if he takes it seriously, but he's just a giant. He's just a giant goober.
Yeah.
He just can't control it. Like you said, he's like a big puppy. He's like a Saint Bernard puppy or something, where it's just like he doesn't know his own size and strength. But yeah, so that eats up a good chunk of the film, and then it's basically like, and now the tournament is
here.
He's
also establishing the relationship with the sister, because like there's a point where he's trying to stretch his legs in the hallway, and then she does the least subtle.
Well, she's a dancer, so she's also in there stretching her legs. And then she's
she's showing him how to stretch and how
she's like, your legs are tight.
Yeah.
Feel mine. Feel here and see how not
feel
tight
the inside of my thigh right here.
And he's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah. And then they make out.
Well, and then of course the trainer guy walks in. And he's like, "Anyone want some coconut milk?"
He just stands there and watches them for a while, and then they're like, "Hey, let's go out in the hall and do this."
Hey, trainer guy, nobody needed towels.
Yeah. So they go out in the hall and like they start talking for 2 seconds, and immediately like this old dude runs by them, and Jake is like, "That hat? Where did he get that hat?" And he chases after this dude and just starts. He finally chases him down and is roughing him up a little bit, like, "Hey, where'd you get the hat?" And the guy is clearly not speaking English in any way, and he's yelling at him to slow down and speak English, but the guy, doesn't know English.
And she translates some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She basically gets snake guy killed your brother. He saw the whole thing, and cops come up and kind of try to break it up, and the guy right before the cop gets there grabs the hat and is just like whoop, whoop, whoop.
He's like,
takes off.
Yeah. So now he's got some information about the snake.
Yeah, he knows that
your brother was killed by the snake
guy in the Red Fist clan thing.
And there's a scene on a rooftop where Jake and Baby are going to spar.
Yeah.
And Baby's not taking it seriously.
Oh, yeah. He's like hugging him on the head and giving him noogies and
Yeah,
stuff.
he's
in
just
the middle
being
of the
a
fight.
big dumb idiot about it. So trainer guy goes over to him and just is like, yeah, he's pretty soft. Probably from fucking your sister all afternoon.
Yeah. Well, no, he told me he's tired from fucking your sister.
all afternoon.
Yeah. He's like, what? Oh, yeah. This afternoon.
Yeah. He's like, you're a liar. And he's like, no, that's what he said.
Yeah. He told me.
Like, fine. So then they fight for real because like Baby finally takes it seriously and goes
Yeah.
nuts, and it doesn't matter.
No.
Jake kicks his ass.
Yeah, Jake
anyway.
puts him down.
Yeah.
Like, not permanently, but...
No, but he's like, hey, this is supposed to be an exhibition. Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird because, I mean, they go and they actually get into the thing. Yeah, like they go
Yeah, the
there.
real tournament.
I mean, which is kind of, I get, we find out later that Quan had like an inside connection the whole time, but it was kind of just like they show up and like, yeah, here you go, come on in. Like, it seemed like kind of weird that they were able to get into this super secret tournament so easily.
You're in. So.
But
Yeah.
they start, and I think they each have a fight, and they're kind of celebrating afterwards. Like they each have a fight and they win. They
Yeah,
kind of
they
fight
win their qualifying
Yeah,
matches.
they fight some nondescript dudes and win easily. And Baby immediately throws this huge bash. All these people are there,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think, is this the first time that we see the resurgence of the? Oh, no, she had shown up once before.
This happened like the first
Yeah.
the first night after they had met. The sister goes to wake Baby up,
Right.
And he pulls the blanket down. And he's got like a bra around his head, and it just looks like, yeah, that's what this idiot would be up to,
Right.
And
Which actually the implications are that he had his sister's bra on his head.
at first, I thought he was just fucking around with laundry and fell asleep and just ended up with a bra on his head. But so the girl we saw at the bar that he was defending sneaks into the room, puts a tray of food down, and walks back out, and then ninjas out the window.
It is the most bizarre thing. Like, it is so not necessary, but it's like from a shot from a doorway with the window out of sight. She like sideways parkours her way out this window
Yeah.
after delivering food, and it's like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah. It's great.
And I'm like, I'm trying.
She never says a word either.
No.
And I'm trying to figure out if she was there and that was her bra. Like
Yes.
the implication she was there
I
and
believe
she
it was.
left to make food and then was like, I'm out.
Yes.
I guess that was the implication,
Yes.
but it seemed like she just snuck in, delivered some food, and then like, and disappeared.
She's
But
mysterious. We
but
never know anything about her.
she's basically more or less attached herself to this guy now.
Yeah. Oh, she is life bonded with him. But is constantly just in the shadows, sneaking around. Like she's never just there hanging out
she
with him.
sneaks in to see his first fight.
Yeah.
Right. But she like when he's having like after the fight and he's kind of having this party, like he's just walking around, in a wannabe Hugh Hefner robe, just woo everybody, and grabs some random lady and starts to kiss her, and the mysterious waitress lady kind of shows up and is like, no, and
And drags him into a
Yeah.
back bedroom
Yes.
or whatever.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, Jake has gone up on the roof to talk to the girl, and
Well, there was a scene where he was Batmaning in the rafters while she was stripping
yeah,
in the club.
yeah, because we find out she was a stripper.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Sure,
They
yeah.
had no clue.
Yeah.
There's
There's
never established or anything. It's
No.
suddenly like,
No.
oh, there she is on stage.
Yeah.
All right.
It's 10 minutes in this strip club of the one weird, awkward white dude in the Philippines going, yeah, this is fantastic.
yeah, and deciding he can jump on stage and start groping women.
Right. So he,
To which Jake decides, no, you're off the stage.
yeah, he jumps down from the rafters and is just bouncing this guy right out of there, to which everyone's just like, how dare you protect.
I'd say he was more Phantom of the Opera
Okay.
than Batmaning.
Fair enough. But
Yeah.
she's just like, how dare you? Get the hell out of here. I never want to see you.
Yeah, no, she doesn't say that. She says
Pretty
something
much.
like,
I mean, it's...
she says like you can't do that, and something to the effect of like you have to do things for money or
Yeah.
something like it's really
It's weird.
it's weird, and it's very clearly like 80 yard in, like,
Oh, yeah.
we didn't know how to end this scene.
Yeah, because the scene ends a second later.
Yeah.
And
Well, because she yells at him like, you can't. Sometimes you just got to do what you have to do for
That's
money.
what it was,
And,
yeah.
he gets angry and does the jump up and kick a hanging light that's
Yeah.
like above his head just to show, hey, I can kick above my height.
Yeah.
he's like, I'm so mad.
Yeah, but I guess this is them resolving their issues because
Sure.
she talks him off the roof, and she's like, Quan says you're falling for me. And he's like, well, Quan has a big mouth. And then she's like, all right, then fuck off.
Yeah,
And
she's
so-
like, well, whatever. I'm going to
Yeah.
leave and go take
Yeah.
a shower.
See you later. So he Spider-Man's down into her
Well, he
bedroom.
takes
Well,
his
he
shirt
takes
off
his shirt off first, which I'm like, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I thought he was going to do some like some karate,
some angry
some
karate dancing
more
or something?
angry
Yeah.
kicking or something. But no,
Some Batman and Robin laundry fighting on the roof.
he yanks off his shirt and then is like, all right, I guess I'll climb back down. Mm-hmm. To which, oh, there you are.
In your bathroom.
Yeah.
I've snuck into your bedroom. How about the sex now?
Yep.
And this is where it gets weird from earlier. I mean,
Yeah.
we have our obligatory nudity and all that part, but like they get onto the bed, and then that's when Baby comes crashing through the door. I believe with waitress
Yeah.
lady. I calling her that because I don't think if she
They're-
has.
they
if she-
never named
If she
her.
has a name, I don't know what it is.
They did not name her. But yeah, they come in, and he's
And
just
he's-
like, all right,
He's
yes,
like,
don't
"Whoops.
stop there.
Oh yeah, don't stop on our account. We're just
Yeah,
gonna
and I
use
mean,
your
like-
window/roof access."
Yeah. Go for it, bro.
Yeah, and the,
Put a
the
baby in my
sister is, completely topless, wearing basically lingerie underwear, and that's it.
Yeah.
And he's laying on top of her, and he's like, all right,
Yeah. So,
cool.
The same guy who wanted to kill him earlier.
Yep.
well, he realized that he got beat down quick and can't fight that battle. So he's, just
Oh,
like,
okay.
he's trying the opposite tact
Yeah,
of
it's
just
a
like,
combination of alcohol and getting your ass kicked.
Yeah.
It's changed his mind about this relationship.
yeah, he's like,
right.
all right,
Yeah.
enjoy my sister.
Yep. So then it's time to fight the next morning. And Jake's like rushing in late, and the,
Yeah.
the trainer's like, "Where the fuck you been?" He's like, I slept in, man."
Overslept. It's all right. I'm good.
Yeah.
And put my robe on. Yeah. So more fighting.
Yeah,
I think it's at this
the-
point we thought Billy Blanks had been eliminated, but it was just the other guy who looked exactly like Billy Blanks.
Yeah, that was really confusing because
Yeah.
they'd never established another black fighter there at all.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's basically the only black character in the movie. So
Right.
when you see a guy that looks similar in haircut getting his neck snapped by Mohawk guy, you're like, well, what the fuck did they have Billy Blanks in here for? And then
And half the fight scenes are real jittery, kind of like fast action. So
yeah,
unless they bother to do the fake slow mo or something on somebody's face, you honestly can't tell who's in it. And it's like, oh well, there's big Mohawk dude. I recognize him because he's huge. But
Yeah.
we've got two generic, Andy Sedaris extras here with mustaches and feathered hair.
Right.
but yeah,
And-
there's just a lot of that, like, kind of like the goofy white guy getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Type thing that's in all these movies where that guy's like really awesome at
Yeah.
actual kickboxing.
Yeah, but he looks like an insurance salesman.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why does that guy know any of this? But he probably does. Jake has a fight with the tall mustache dude, and I want to applaud this movie for doing something subtle, but I don't think it's doing it subtly. I think it just fails miserably at conveying what's happening in that. So he's not doing great against the guy, and so his now girlfriend in the audience is just like, well, fuck this, I'm just going to listen to my tape. So she hits play on the radio, but it's rock music and not her language learning. Then it cuts to that other dude's trainer who is sneakily trying to turn on some radio because this is the guy in a throwaway line of dialogue they said can only fight to music.
Oh,
So he's got an earpiece in. Guy
Yeah.
fidgets with this
Yeah.
thing, turns it on, and it's the language tape. And the guy freaks out. I can't fight. And so Jake is able to kick his ass. Any other movie, I think, would have set that up a little better and made it look
absolutely.
like...
It took me a minute to realize what was going on. I was like, why is she singing upset by hearing music? And also, why is now? Okay.
It's
Okay.
all... This whole movie is just kind of like they had ideas but never fleshed any of them out, and they just
Because
had
they
to
made it
go.
in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just like, okay, this is all we got. Just go. Just do it. We don't have time for nuance. We don't have time for subtlety or detail. Just go.
Yeah.
So nice try, but yeah.
yeah. Is this the point where Baby gets beat?
No.
No,
Baby
it's
gets beat
later?
in the quarterfinals. Or
Okay.
the semifinals, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, he wins whatever fight he has then.
Yeah.
And during Jake's fight, he sees the guy in the hat again. And he's like, oh shit, guy in the hat.
And the guy in the hat is kind of fussing over mysterious ninja sex lady. They're both kind of futzing around with each other.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell what's happening. So
But-
that's also distracting.
Yeah.
Jake.
Okay. That okay. That happens during the Billy Blanks fight.
That's
is
right.
what happens.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
eventually, the sequence of events is he has to fight Billy Blanks.
Right.
Which,
And other dude, Baby, gets paired up with Mohawk guy.
yeah, but that's the next day because his trainer tells him you're going to have to fight whoever wins this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. But so Baby wins, and then Jake has to fight Billy Blanks.
Right.
and sees the guy in the audience and gets distracted. So, and he's fighting Billy Blanks. And there is a good shot of Jake trying to watch the guy in the hat get up, and then Billy Blanks jumps into the frame.
Yeah. Haha.
All angry looking.
Yeah. That fight ends with them double kicking each other.
Yes. Double jump kicking each other in the face.
Yeah.
But he gets up and Billy Blanks, I guess, does not, because he kind of like shakes it off. Like they both go double kick, and it's like, did they just double knock each other out? And he just is on the ground, is like, ugh, okay.
Yeah.
And then
gets up and
takes off
runs out.
and is like immediately going to go chase the guy, which Quan steps in the doorway and it's just like, yeah, don't worry about it. I talked to him. I got his address.
Yeah.
We'll go see him later.
He'll meet with you tonight.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah. And it's weird because there's no celebration for this victory despite him being so close to the end.
Right.
It's just kind of like, I guess he beat Billy Blanks. Maybe he's dead. We don't know.
Yeah.
We never see him again.
No.
But it's immediately cut to they're walking down the street. They're going to go see this guy, hopefully get some information about his brother, and walk into his apartment. And not only is he hung up like by the neck, dead, but he's like shot or stabbed to death as
There's
well.
blood all over his shirt.
Yeah, like he's
really overkill.
He's real dead,
Yeah.
super dead.
And is typical in most movies of ours where someone walks in on a hanging body, sirens are heard immediately.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they're like, we better get out of here.
Yeah. Everyone, and keep in mind, this is before the age of cell phones, so this has been very carefully coordinated.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And Quan's just like, I'll take care of it. Just get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
And so he has to run from the cops.
Like, okay, so his Hal, his buddy from home, has shown up at some point.
Yes.
That's true.
And
He's just like, Manila!
yeah, he again is just like, hey kid, why you got my T-shirt? Take me to this guy,
Yeah.
this guy right here. And of course, this random kid is like, oh sure, yeah, I know who that is. Come on, and leads him right to him. So they have this.
Well, no, they
reunion.
established it. People know him now. They know Jake because he's doing so well
Yes.
in this underground tournament that nobody's supposed to know
But his
about.
picture's not on there, and it just says Jake. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's not a
Hey,
ton
man.
of Jakes running around Manila, but I'm guessing there's
Hey,
probably
man.
more than one.
Nah.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anywho, but like that's
Yeah.
only served because his Hal, his buddy, is kind of giving this ominous. He's seen Quan once and was like, I think I know that guy, to which is like the kind of point in the movie where like, yeah, well, we kind of suspected there might be something up with this guy who mysteriously showed up, took his bag, and decided to train him. on all
But
these
okay,
things.
look, it's super weird because they don't even run, they kind of jog past Hal, and Hal's like, "Hey, wait, I know that guy," and that's it. Like it's never addressed.
Yeah, he never like goes to see Jake or anything. Is like, hey,
Yeah.
that guy, I
Hal's-
recognize your trainer, dude.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, Hal is on the fringes of all the scenes from
Sure.
this point on.
Yeah, he's always just kind of in the audience, like hanging out.
Right. Yeah, it's just like he's just basically shown up so that he has another person cheering him in the audience or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it serves no other purpose other than just like, hey. So we kind of suspect something about Quan now, which,
But-
we'll just get to it. Like, Jake's in jail.
Well, Jake sees Baby fight
Oh, that's
Mohawk
right.
guy the next morning, and Baby loses. Mohawk guy takes like his bandana, but doesn't kill him, but like basically stomps on his chest.
One step away from killing him.
Yeah, and to get him in the hospital, and he and the sister have a fight because she's like, you knew he wasn't good enough, and you guys kept pushing it, and he's
Right.
like,
Yeah, minutes away from his final
yeah.
fight.
and she's like, are you gonna fight this guy and die too?
She's like, I need someone who's going to live.
Yeah,
And he's like,
yeah. So she totally wet blankets him
Yeah.
just before he's supposed to fight.
And it's weird because, I mean, I don't know how to talk about the rest of this without just kind of like skipping through to the end because, like,
Well, there's a bam, bam, bam.
yeah,
of it where
there is a bam. Like, so, all right.
the cops arrest him next.
The cops arrest him.
as soon as he walks out of the hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
But to talk about like finish up Baby's story because this is so weird. Like they didn't kill him in the ring. Like he's dead or almost dead, hooked up to life support. His sister's like, yeah, even if he wakes up, he's going to be a vegetable with serious brain damage.
Yeah.
You know, so what's the point? So he's dead. And like a scene later, they do the beep and he's honestly dead.
Yeah.
And it's like why? Like,
Well-
why not just kill him in the ring? Like, I don't understand this whole like, let's get to the hospital. Like, I just don't see what.
the motivation part, I kind of understand what they were about to try to do, but they did it so clumsily that because what happens is that his ninja girlfriend is in the room when he dies. She gets upset, runs to the tournament. When
With
we're
a gu-
skipping
with a gun,
ahead,
yes.
but she has a gun and is going to shoot Mohawk dude. Jake stops that because Jake has to win. If he doesn't win, whatever.
Because also there's a point where Quan's like, he's the guy that, like, he's got a snake tattoo on his ankle. He's the guy that killed your brother.
Yeah, but like, just to wrap up the baby storyline, she is going to shoot him, misses because Jake has kicked him out of the way. Immediately is trying to load the gun again for one more shot or something, and that's when Mohawk dude kind of pimp slaps her to death. Like, just kind of hits her once.
Well, she falls and hits something.
He knocks her into something.
Okay, well...
But she's dead, too. Like, I mean, like...
Yes.
She gets killed.
And I think the movie is like, okay, now that's the motivation to wake Jake up. It's one of a chain of events, but it's like that never serves its purpose because, one, she doesn't speak, and two, therefore she never conveys to anyone that baby is dead.
Right.
So it's zero motivation for anyone in the scene.
Yeah.
It's like he should have just been killed in the ring.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Like, that's what should have happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then she wandered off somewhere and then comes back with a gun.
Yeah,
So
anyway, rewinding back
Yes.
to him getting arrested outside the hospital.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the only other thing this, like, other than allowing the Nancy the lady to just suddenly wet blanket him out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The hospital scene serves no purpose whatsoever because it's not motivation, and it only just gets him to a place where I guess there would be cops outside of a hospital. They're like, "Hey, you." I don't know how they recognize him from running away in the dark and jumping down, but whatever.
Who knows?
They do.
Anyway.
They arrest him. He's in jail.
Yeah, he's in jail. Meanwhile, Quan is injecting something into the mango, and then is at the prison.
Yeah.
The mango, did we say that it was his reward for climbing up
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically,
But
mangoes
he
is just
had
the
never
thing everyone
he
eats.
had never earned it.
Yeah.
Until that point. So he injects the mango with something, and then goes to the jail and kind of talks to him long enough to get the guard to go away. And he's basically like, "Oh yeah, be here when the door unlocks at 4 p.m. and you'll be able to escape. Whatever.
Eat this mango.
Yeah. And here's the mango. You can eat it." He's like, "Okay."
Ah, cool.
Yeah. So then he goes back to, the fight is about to start. They're, Mohawk guy's getting a nice massage beforehand.
Yeah. Yes.
And Jake busts out of jail, gets there, and that's when Quan tells him, "Okay, yeah, he killed your brother. He's got an asp on his leg. It's the most dangerous type of snake." So,
and also, are you sure you ate the mango?
yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I ate it on the way over.
He's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
He's like, good.
But
good.
he's clearly just like,
Oh, the second he enters the arena, he stumbles up the steps.
Yeah.
And
he's
about
sweaty and drugged.
About the time he gets like where Spotlighted is, and when they're like announcing the two people, they don't really announce
Yeah.
it, but it's like they clap the things and the fight's about to start, and it goes into the I'm fucked up vision camera.
Yeah. And we haven't mentioned that the last two fights are basically like they turn off all the lights in the arena and it's just spotlights.
It's bad because then it's just like two dudes in a warehouse somewhere filming close-ups, and it's just like,
Yeah. Because the other fights were like well lit.
Yeah.
You see everything fights. These are like, two guys in a warehouse
smoke-filled
with
rooms
a spotlight.
with a very weak spotlight on them,
and then
close-up.
cut to the crowd or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah.
so he's trying to fight this guy and just getting his ass kicked, and the world is all acidy and slow motion.
Yep. Girl comes in. That's when the whole commotion with the gun happens.
Yep.
Right.
And yeah, in saving Mohawk guy's life is basically Jake gets her killed.
Kind of,
More or
yeah,
less.
because he
Yeah.
gives Mohawk guy time to go over and slap her to death.
And kill her.
Yes.
Yeah, but like you said, it's not the actual motivation it should be, but it does wake him up where it's like, okay, it's time to beat ass.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like
Well, what
that
wakes him
also
up-
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best scene in the movie.
Yeah, he gets extra super slow mo.
Yeah.
Everything's all.
He's
but
in total drug trip
stop.
mode.
Yeah.
Where, like, the sister is screaming at him in slow motion that, just not motivational stuff.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
Yeah, I
Good
told
job. Fuck nuts.
you. Yeah. But then it finds Hal in the crowd.
And Hal.
And Hal slowed down sounds like Satan.
Yep.
Basically, the devil has shown up.
Oh, but it's great.
And he has so many lines of dialogue to get out in this slow-mo scene. He's just rattling off all this information.
And I love that he's doing it in the midst of a crowd that's making all this noise, but like Jake's drug state has given him super focus.
Yeah.
It's like he took the peyote correctly and it's just
Yes.
laser focused on Hal, who's like,
Yeah.
who's like,
Well, you mix it with just a little bit of Adderall. And
Yes.
you're good, man.
Focused on it.
Jake,
Yeah.
it's Quan.
He's like, I was here 20 years ago, and that guy's the snake.
He was fixing fights way back when. It's an old tradition where a guy is called a snake, and the rat is the guy who's set up to take the fall.
He did actually say that part. The girlfriend sister
Yeah.
imparted that whole rat snake.
Yes.
I hope you understand what I'm saying, Jake.
But he ends with, he bet against you.
Yeah. And then repeats it, against you. And this, so...
And I love how it's shot, too, because it's like, kind of got the crowd around him, and he's like cupping his hands around his mouth. He's shouting in slow motion as well.
Yes. And so what happens
good.
is basically Jack Bauer fighting off the heroin. Because Jake just gets up and is just like, I ain't got time for the drugs in my system.
Yep.
Time to be a fighter. And he fights.
Yeah.
And just fights that dude. Just
Yeah.
He's like, okay, now no more drugs can bother me. I'm fighting man because he bet against me.
Yeah, and he eventually, he's able to kick him into some kind of, railing thing where he gets tangled up.
Yeah.
And he basically grabs one of his arms and yanks it up, which
Yep.
I'm assuming would dislocate his shoulder.
I think, well, there was a breaky sound. Because,
Yeah.
so, imagine a rail that has, a handrail, but then, the lattice or whatever underneath it. So he's got it jammed between the two metal bars.
Yeah.
So, and, it just kind of pulls up, and I'm assuming some
And then-
sort of fracture.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
rips out his earring and holds it up for the crowd.
Yes. And then
Which the way it's shot too, it almost looks like he yanks off his ear
Yeah.
Yes.
and
it
holds it up for the crowd.
and then flings it into the crowd.
Yeah, this bloody earring he throws in the crowd.
Hey people.
Who's had a tetanus
Blah.
shot?
Fuck that. We don't even have shots for all the other stuff you're going to get from that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who's got no hope?
Yeah.
Have this earring.
but like so
Who wants a randomly blood transmitted disease? Whee!
but he wins and there's absolutely no pomp and circumstance whatsoever.
Oh, no.
He leaves.
Hal, Quan has just booked out of there
Yeah.
because he's like, fuck. And Hal is like, it's not over yet, man.
Yeah. So he just walks out amidst other people just like, wow, that was a good fight. That was
he
pretty
basically
cool
walks around a corner into, suddenly there's a stairwell leading down into, an underground temple.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bizarre because,
Yes.
there's this long, he just kind of comes around the corner and he's like, Quan? Oh, okay, there's stairs here, and not only is it underground, but suddenly we're back to the alleyway where my brother was killed.
Yeah, but they fight. Okay, so they meet up in this big it's kind of like this almost arena with stair steps on each side of it, and it's pouring down rain. They're each standing on each side of this location, kind of yelling at each other during the rain, but you can't understand what anyone is saying. Like they're too far away from each other, and the sound in the movie is terrible. So whatever they're shouting back and forth, who knows? You just kind of have to wait for them to get close to each other, and then they start fighting. To which Jake gets his ass kicked by the guy, and the guy just goes whoop 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 and runs down this hallway to another location. Suddenly he's in the city streets and in the alleyway where his brother died. So they fight there for a while.
Right. Oh, yeah, I forgot they were in, the arena temple thing, whatever.
Yeah, because now it's not raining because they're in an alley.
Right.
And
Well, the best thing about the fight while they're in the arena is it starts raining, and this happened earlier in the movie too, where the crowd was getting amped up for the final fight or whatever, where the sound clip didn't end very gracefully, and they didn't bother to fade them or anything. So
it sounds like a soundboard.
yeah, it's just like, all right, we have a
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And sometimes they'll hit another one during it.
Right.
It's crowds are not able to make that noise naturally. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But now they've done the same thing. They have one thunderclap clip and just mostly keep hitting it when there's a punch of
Yeah.
some sort.
Yes.
But it's also not just his. At first I was like, oh, it's going to be every time he hits him. No, it's just kind of
just
there's a punch there that we can see on screen.
Yes. Yeah, so they do that, and you kind of think it's going to get cool, but it doesn't. They run off to the exact location where his brother died, and they fight there, and they have foreshadowed the fuck out of this fence, this spiky fence.
Oh, yeah.
And
I was shocked when the brother didn't die on.
yeah, because I'm like, oh, well, it's there. That's what it's there for. But Jake eventually, kicks him onto this fence where he impales. And as he's dying,
He says, "I have trained you well."
yes,
Your final lesson is a good offense is a rusty fence.
I finally get your point.
Yes. He expires.
Yes.
Oh, right.
And he just happens to walk back out to the temple area, and there's the girl.
The girl is just kind of taking a stroll. She's just
Yeah.
like, la la la, the rain's over. What a day. Oh, look. Jake's here.
Yeah.
Hi, Jake.
And
I was just walking through the, the arena.
He kind of leans on her shoulder and walks off, and credits.
Yeah, boom, credits.
Yeah, Bloodfist.
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 Yeah, there's no ancillary awards. There's not
Nope.
a song with any lyrics and anywhere to be found in this entire movie.
There's a lot of good wailing guitar on the soundtrack, though.
Yeah,
Then there's some jaunty, wall climbing music.
Yeah.
It's all over the place, but
Yeah.
no words.
No. Ratings.
Yeah.
I'll go.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. This is not a good movie. It's as one of these goes, it's badly edited. The pacing is terrible. Some of the fights are pretty good, but others are so woefully bad and badly shot. However, I think there is this swirl of entertainment in this somewhere. Part of it is your own doing, like you have to bring it yourself. But part of it is just people in this are goofy and the situations are goofy and the way you get from one scene to another is goofy. I'm going to give it 2 jocks. I think it's entertaining but frustrating at the same time because you want another badass karate kicking movie, and it's filled with people with talent. They tell you that at the beginning because every cast member has like their accolades underneath who they are, and then you just don't get a lot from that. So it's frustrating in that regard, but there's an essence of something here and just a level of goofiness that makes it entertaining.
Yeah.
So 2 jocks.
I'm gonna echo that exact same rating. Yeah, like there are so many better made martial art kumite things out there, including obviously Bloodsport and Kickboxer and King of the Kickboxers and all of these other things that we've watched pretty much all of somewhere in our lives.
Yep.
There is something charming about how poorly made this is, though, and it's kind of what we've always championed is that let Roger Corman, let a new Roger Corman come along, and if you're going to shit out these silent films, at least make them entertaining in a dumb way, and not the wrong kind of dumb way,
Not the intentionally dumb one.
right? Yeah, these people train the next people who are going to go on and make a real movie someday, not the well, whatever, it's a paycheck and shark something thing. Yeah. I mean, and this is just another perfect example of that is I don't know if this guy ever went on to make real movies or a shitload of Power Rangers episodes, but at least it was trying something, and it's charming in that get it done, kind of Ed Wood, fuck it, what, no steps, let's just climb up a volcano instead,
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised how much in the late 80s and early 90s how we went to the well in all these B and C grade movies of get a martial artist of some kind, give them a hint of an acting class, and let's make 12 movies.
Oh, yeah.
And now it seems like there aren't any of these people. And I find it hard to believe that no one's taking a class with a molecule of personality that someone can't just go, that guy's all right, let's make some kicking movies.
It seems like Scott Adkins is the only one.
I keep
that
hearing
gets him
his
now.
name, and I don't understand why. I guess maybe that's it, but I don't understand why that's the thing. I kept thinking he was a country singer.
No.
Yeah, but I mean,
No.
there's obviously something here because there are 9 Bloodfists. 9. 8 of them have Don the Dragon Wilson in them.
Yes.
The one, Bloodfist 2050, does not.
No,
Yeah.
because it wasn't actually a blood fist.
Oh.
It was Roger Corman getting greedy.
Yeah.
Call it blood fist.
So I'm just saying, I don't know how many more Blood Fists we will. We're at least probably going to watch the second one because that's the only one that's a direct sequel.
Direct sequel.
Yeah.
Despite having the same actor, that's the only one he's the same character.
Yes.
So I kind of want to see what has happened to Jake here, and
Yeah.
a year
Catch up with
later or
Jake.
whatever it is, but it's not a good movie.
No.
And you're probably not going to find a good copy of it because it's out of print DVD, and
Yes.
it's just. The transfers are terrible. The sound is terrible. There's a lot of terrible things about it, and yet it's fun in the dumb kind of ways that we like.
Yes.
Yeah. It's interesting. Full disclosure here. Last week, I was not supposed to be on the show because I was on vacation, and I watched the movie ahead of time and called in about it to be on the episode that never got recorded because of a fucking hurricane. And I gave it 3 jocks in that call.
Okay.
Which was closer to a 2 jocks. Like it was like a low end of the 3. In watching it a second time, it kind of pushed up to the high end of a 3 for me because I didn't have to worry about the plot and could just focus on the goofy stuff, like the slow motion, the slow motion yelling, the just all the goofiness with Baby, just the randomness of her suddenly being a stripper out of the blue. Like there's a lot of fun things in here, but it also bothered me that the fights just, in watching it again, they felt even worse filmed than they did the first time.
Yeah.
Which was kind of disappointing there because there's a lot of, you can tell, like, we're inserting shots of dudes kicking each other. It's like we don't have a wide angle of it. We just have a take of, all right, this guy's got his arm up and there's a leg coming in. There's a lot of that sort of thing that I didn't notice the first time. But, it's still, it's a 3 jocks. I think I enjoyed it more than you guys and pushed it a little higher up just because of, there is a lot of random goofiness in the performances. But as far as like storytelling goes, yeah, the editing is a train wreck. But it's a fun train wreck for me, and it helped. Remember, it helped Chuck pointing out that it sounded like Michael Biehn throughout, because the first time I watched it, I was like, "Who the fuck does he sound like?" Because like, is somebody dubbing him? Who is that?
Yeah.
And just it never clicked until you said that, and I was like, "Okay, yep, that's Michael Biehn." But it's not. It's Don the Dragon Wilson.
Yes. Welcome to the show, Don the Dragon Wilson.
I look forward to more movies with him.
I guess I have seen some things with him, but he wasn't like a main person.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of like background stuff.
Yeah.
Like Batman 3, Batman
Yes,
Forever.
he was in Batman Forever.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I could not tell you anything about Batman Forever these days.
I'm just saying, like, there's some things out there that I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
So I was wrong. I have seen a Don the Dragon Wilson movie.
He's in the Scorpion King 4.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get there eventually. Right?
Sure.
Why not?
All right.
Well, shall we take a break in the meantime?
Let's.
He almost came up in 1990 year
Oh.
because he's in Delta Force 2.
That's right.
We just didn't get to Delta Force 2.
I think I was going to get Orm in here today, but I was wrong.
Hey, hi there.
Hi.
How are you?
Hey, man.
I'm well, how are you? It's that tie.
Uh-huh.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
It's turning me on.
So, you
Yeah.
guys got any second half talk?
Yes, a lot. I
How-
watched 2 movies and I want to talk briefly about Luke Cage.
Okay.
I can mention something for half a second.
I watched one movie.
I have 2 movies that would have been, they would have been such good synchronicity, or whatever that one of those words is, last week.
Uh-huh.
I just fucking nailed it for last week and then it didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, Don the Dragon Wilson in Future Kick. That tells me all I need to know.
Future Kick.
Future Kick. Oh, Chris Penn is in that.
Oh, Jesus. Chris Penn, a sign of quality.
Martial arts, kung fu, black market organs. Those are the plot keywords.
Also my match profile.
Okay. Oh, Don the Dragon Wilson plays a cyborg
Cyborg. Oh, it's
in Future Kick.
cyborgine me up.
Just say it in Lillian Garcia's voice.
Right. Future Kick. Virtual combat.
Let me guess, that came out around 96?
95.
Yep. Yep.
Scientist brings virtual reality characters to life.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
2 are women from a cybersex video game. The third is a warrior who wants to unleash the rest of the bad guys from the virtual reality.
No. Because it's Bloodtober. We can't watch that yet.
We gotta wait till Virtual Ember.
Yeah, we gotta wait till Cyborg Ember.
What was it called?
Virtual Combat.
Oh, okay, I missed that part.
Don't worry, it's on the list. He's also in Cyber Tracker and Cyber Tracker 2.
Russell Crowe's in Virtuosity.
Yes.
He was a virtuoso in Virtuosity. Wasn't that Denzel, too?
Yep.
Man.
That's back when Denzel was making the craziest shit.
Yeah. Before Denzel realized, like, hey, wait, I'm supposed to be in good movies.
Yeah, I'm Denzel.
Or The Equalizer.
That's also like, I remember seeing that
Wait,
movie.
The Equalizer was awesome.
I know, I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
That feels trashier.
Sure.
Than Prestige Denzel would be doing.
Yeah. I remember seeing Virtuosity in the theater and thinking, man, that Russell Crowe guy is going to be huge. And then for like 6 years, nothing. Like he just fucked off back to Australia and didn't become a star. And I was like, well,
Oi.
that's a waste.
Oi, fuck off back to Australia.
I guess he went back and worked on his band.
What was it? He came back at LA Confidential. Was
Yeah.
when he kind of...
Yeah, I guess that was 97. But
Yeah.
it just seemed like, okay, he's here, man.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe's the new guy. And nothing.
Well, it's always weird when you go back and you find, like, you think you remember the movie where it was, like, their first time they were in anything, and then, like, you go back and it's like, oh, shit, no, you were in things, like, many years before.
Yeah.
Like suddenly after Lord of the Rings, you realize how many things Viggo Mortensen was in before
Oh, yeah.
that. When
Yes.
I mean, I knew he was the bad guy in G.I. Jane, but, like, that was it. Like, I thought was all I knew he was. Like, he was in fucking everything.
Yeah, I know, because he was in Chainsaw 3 and he was in
Right.
prison. I mean, these were like 88, 89.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there was one recently. It was it was a post I read on Columbus Day that Catherine Zeta-Jones was in one of the Columbus movies. I don't remember which one.
Oh,
Yeah.
like 1492.
Or the other one. Yeah, one with Tom Selleck or the one with Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah.
He's in one of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was just like, whoa.
Well, yeah, it's like Viola Davis. Everyone loves Viola Davis now. And, like, she was in Out of Sight way back when. Like, a very small role, but it's like, wait, I remember her.
Right.
Yeah.
And she looks about the same age now. It's weird. Of course, they made her look terrible in that movie. So
Also, I know her name is Zeta. I just like Zeta better.
Zeta Jones. Because that's how Sean Connery said it.
Zeta-Jones. Yeah.
I don't know why everyone remembers the promotional tour from that movie, but nothing about the fucking movie. Everyone just remembers him saying her name over and over again. Fuck was the name of that movie?
which one?
The one with Sean Connery and Entrapment?
Entrapment.
Okay, yeah. Where she's
Entrapment.
slithering around the lasers to
Yeah,
get to
the
the
butt shot.
blood diamond or
Yeah.
whatever. That's all anyone remembers about that fucking movie.
Nope.
All right. Well, shall we get this second
Yeah.
half of rolling?
Just to wrap up that talk, I did see Virtuosity again recently.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible. At the time, I was like, cool, virtual reality. This is neat.
Yeah, I know. Like, that mid-90s has not aged well at all. And that's kind of why we don't tend to go to it, I'm realizing, is because, like...
I would go to
It's-
it for the B-tier stuff because you know that's going to be goofy.
Yeah.
It's the ones who are trying to take it seriously, you know?
Well, yeah, and also, like, all movies were, like, it's got to be 2 hours, man.
Yeah.
Like there were so few 90-minute movies, like, 90 minutes, that's for comedies, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Comedies and movies on cable.
yeah.
It's like just direct-to-video bullshit. But if
Yeah.
you're in a theater, man, it's 2 hours, 12 minutes. Because, I mean, that's why we can't watch No Escape, because that movie's so long. I guarantee you we're going to watch that and go, 30 minutes of this movie needs to go.
Yeah. But I feel like that about so many movies.
Yeah.
So many movies, it's like, you cut this shit down so easily.
But
Well, shall
Who
we?
knows? Maybe we need to wait another 10 years, and then we'll be like, man, the 90s.
yeah.
Remember the mid-90s when
Yeah.
CG sucked?
I don't think the 90s are ever going to... I don't think it's going to happen. Not in the CG way, anyway. I don't think that's ever
Yeah.
going to be charming.
Yeah, well, so much of that was like, well, we can do this now, so
Yeah.
let's do it. And it's like, no, it looks like shit.
Yeah.
You really can't.
Yeah. Because, like, when we watched the Power Rangers movie, and they got to that
Well, what I love-
textureless CG
What I love is
bullshit.
like the CG that's in The Last Starfighter is like no better than the CG that was in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They're on the same fucking level, and it's like isn't that like 10, 15
Well,
years?
somebody wrote us and claimed that they did that intentionally to give it a cheap feel that was supposed to be some kind of, and I don't know if that's like revisionist history or what, but
No, if they wanted
Yeah.
a cheap feel, they would have had more dudes in suits.
Yeah. But so much CG, like in the mid to late 90s, was just like, we don't understand how lighting works. Like, that's the biggest problem all of them have, is it's like, well, yeah, you lit this thing like completely, like especially like the alligators in Eraser, one of my favorites ever, is like those are lit so brightly and the lighting doesn't change whenever they move, and that's why they look fake.
Yeah. Well, and the thing I talked about when I'd finally seen Eraser, when we talked about it on the show, is that was the time where you could tell they were switching to a CG shot because the quality of the film would go to shit because it's another layer on top of it.
Oh, yeah.
So you could see it coming. Like, all of a sudden it would look like film, and then all of a sudden it's washed out and shitty, and then you're going to be like, oh, okay, there's going to be CG bullets flying through here in a second. Yeah, there they are. This looks like garbage. They just, integrating it wasn't working. Whereas, meanwhile, you could just draw some cartoon bullets on the film itself, and it would look amazing.
Yeah.
That's why I always maintain lightning effects in the 80s were the best fucking special effects
because
ever.
it's somebody just drawing on the film.
Yes, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it was probably, you could literally just scratch the film.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because...
Yeah, and tint it blue and just be like, there you go,
Well, I was
electricity.
saying, if you want white and you run it through film, it's like, scratch, there you go. Lightning.
It's like one of the... I mean, there's so many good things about Big Trouble in Little China, but there's just so many lightning effects in that where it's just like, oh, this all looks so good.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's do it.
All right. I'm realizing I have notes somewhere for at least one of these.
Let me see. We got
Not many notes, just I had to write a note or
any
two.
emails. Time to check the emails. Who got the emails? Let's see here.
All right, we good?
Yes, we're so good.
Hang on. Man, a lot of these are for no quarters. Go figure.
What?
Yeah, I know. Hey, look, a new voicemail from Mackie.
Fuck that guy.
Nah, fuck that guy. I'm not playing that shit.
Long-winded ass bag.
That's what I hear, man.
Yeah.
There's one voicemail we're not going to play because BJ's not here to rage against it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Someone who's not happy with Scott Pilgrim.
Oh.
Oh, right.
So I feel
We'll
like
save that, yeah.
I feel like bringing BJ back and getting him in a
that's
bad
important.
mood.
Yeah, you're right.
Get that guy in a bad mood.
Do you remember how tinted or how gingerly I talked about Scott Pilgrim the first time?
I did
Oh,
the
yeah.
same thing.
Well, like no, because I went and saw it in the theater. I was the
Yeah.
only one. Like all y'all waited for video or whatever,
I was in there.
and I just kind of came in. and I was like, I really like this, but I was just like, I don't know if I'm crazy, but I really like this movie, and
It's so hyper stylized.
yeah, and I was just like, I was like, I don't know what to think or tell you about this because I'm scared that everyone's.
well,
gonna
yeah, and you
think I'm
didn't want
crazy.
to oversell it either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, it's like
No,
it's a hard movie where it's like I don't.
I remember you being tentative about it, and then
A
I
lot of
think
people are going to be like, I might hate this. Some people
Yeah.
might hate this.
I remember you being tentative, and I think I borrowed the Blu-ray from you, like to get like right after the year-end stuff, and then I was like, you should have sold this harder. Like I was
Yeah, I
like,
know.
that movie's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but like I said,
But
it
it's
is
like
so
also-
stylized that
yeah,
it's
it's-
like you could hate it, and I wouldn't take offense
Yeah.
at the same,
Yep, we were just in that target market.
yeah. Anywho,
So anyway,
right. All right, and welcome back.
Hey!
BMFcast.
Yeah, second half.
Second half.
Let's get right into it.
Yeah, Chuck.
We had a week
Second
off.
half.
We have some things to talk about.
Oh God, do we ever?
Man, so I had some really timely things that were going to synchronize with what was happening in the world.
Uh-huh.
And the week went by, and so hey, I'm still going to talk about them because I watched them and I feel like they need to be talked about. First off, let me go ahead and pimp something else. Chuck and I are going to be doing a new BMFcast Extra series. We finished
are?
with the summer movie series. I don't know how far we're going to go.
All the way.
Chuck seems to think all the way before we
Yeah.
go crazy, but we're doing the entire Amityville series,
Uh-huh.
which is 17 movies
Eh.
at this point. Is that including the remake?
Yes.
Okay. So
Are you
17
going to be combining them in episodes?
Eventually.
Because the newest one was just the original, like
Yes.
1980, was
Yeah.
it?
79.
79.
79.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, in honor of that, because I knew we were going to be starting that, I decided to watch The Conjuring 2. If you remember, I didn't particularly care for The Conjuring.
Boo.
All right. So there are things about The Conjuring I like. They're like the The tension bits are what James Wan, I think, gets really, really right. It's everything else. Like, he just has like a smorgasbord of ideas and doesn't say no to any of them in like a script, it seems. It's just like, I don't know, what about this? This might splinter off into another series like Annabelle. Like, it's just like, it feels, all of his movies, his horror movies, feel like they're just peppering things in. It's like, I don't know, this doesn't really make any context. It's mildly creepy for the moment, go. And I don't know, it feels cheap. It feels cheap, and like he's just casting a net into, like, I don't know, maybe this one will take off. You know, and this was no different. I mean, there are interesting and cool things in it. Ultimately, though, it's like, I still didn't like it. And I mean, man, the movies are just too long, too. Like, man, both Conjuring and Conjuring 2 are long. Like, way too long for a goddamn horror movie. So, yeah, I don't know why. I thought maybe occasionally a sequel changes my mind about the original. Like, the greatest example being Paranormal Activity. Really, really didn't like the first one. I liked every other one. Like, that's the most bizarre thing. In some degree, I liked all the other Paranormal Activity movies except for the first one. But the strange thing is, you still need to suffer through the first one just for the fact that it's going to tie back in and reference it.
Yeah, because it's a dumb mythology.
Yeah, it is. They've created a dumb mythology, but I enjoyed it along the way. It's so
I've
dumb.
only seen that first one still. I feel like I should go back and watch.
You really should. Like, two is like just like one, but with a not annoying family.
Yeah.
And 3 is fucking great.
Yeah.
3 is so good.
Yeah.
I might as well ask this now because somebody, I forget who it was now on Twitter, but mentioned it, that, you know, in talking about the new Blair Witch, which is found footage again. What is it with found footage movies and just like shitbirds populating all of them? Like, characters you're just like, fuck you guys. I think about the original Paranormal Activity. I'm just like, man, everything about this is awesome except these people.
Well, okay.
Like, fuck these people. I want them to die. I don't even care about saving them because they're so shitty.
I have a theory to that if you want to know.
I do. That's why I'm asking.
Well,
but
all right. So I think it's because the found footage thing feels that you can't cast any single actor that you've ever heard of because it would break the illusion of the found footage thing. Yep. I mean, a few exceptions have been like, fuck it, we don't care. It's looks like found footage, but it's not. But so then you've got to go to at least the B or T, C or D list of people to casting, and then you say, all right, I don't want you to like necessarily play this like a character. I want you to act like you would really, or something. You know, like they're probably just given a direction of like, just say this like a person would say it and make it seem real.
Well, to be believable as a found footage thing, you need people to be shitty because people are shitty.
Okay, well, that's a more pessimistic life view of it, I suppose. But I was just throwing a few bad actors into the mix.
I think, you look at something like Cloverfield, where you just really have annoying cameramen.
Fuck all them.
Well, I don't think the other people are a problem in that, and they do a lot of strangely heroic things that I don't think would happen in that scenario. That people would not be going through towering, teetering skyscrapers to try to attempt to rescue someone who is still 40 flights up in a broken building, but. I think that's it. Although it's not just found footage movies, to be honest. It's a lot of horror movies that feel like they have to make everyone the worst person ever so that when they die, you get some sort of thrill from it, which I think is the absolute wrong way to go with it. Absolutely. But people know more than I do. Yeah. I happen to think that, something bothering a good person is more interesting than something bothering a shitty person because I immediately just go, well, fuck that guy. Who gives a shit? Kill him, ghost, or do whatever you're going to do. Who cares? And then when it happens, you're like, yeah, well, that's what you get, So,
well, yeah. Well, I mean, you think back about the original Nightmare. Like, you're more frightened for those kids. You're not like, man, fuck these kids.
Yeah.
They're believable as kind of normal people, but they're not. And they get stressed out and stuff, but they're not shitty. You're not like, fuck you guys. I want to see you die.
Having just watched all the Fridays the 13th, I mean, there's a lot of shitty people in all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's not
I'm just
really
talking about the original Nightmare. It's just is one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Right now.
No, that's a good one. I mean, that's why. I mean, I think that's one of the best horror movies ever. As far as all around, all encompassing. I mean, Friday the 13th just kind of somehow spawned a life of its own, and there's not any one of them, I mean, besides 6, which is all the right ways that we want a movie, there is none of them that I think is anywhere close to Nightmare on Elm Street like level of actual. But going back to like my whole film versus movie thing, they are all just popcorn drive-in movie bullshit. Like there is no art in any of them.
That's why I still think the first Halloween stands out like it does, is because those people aren't shitty either. Jamie Lee Curtis is not a terrible teenager. She's a normal teenager and a pretty decent teenager, especially for the 70s. And her friends aren't terrible either. So you really feel bad when things are happening to them. For me, that just makes a horror movie better. You know, well, I won't mention it because you're going to bring it up later, and we'll talk about it there. So
anyway, switching gears if we're done about that.
Yeah, sure.
I'll just cover this one other thing. I was going to watch this so I could talk about it right after the premiere, but I saw this a long time ago, back when I was on a 70s kick, and I watched the original Westworld.
Okay.
To tie in with the HBO series. Because I watched it in Future World years ago when I was watching all the Charlton Heston and other 70s sci-fi stuff. I didn't really retain a lot of it. Like, I think I now realize that I'm confusing several scenes. Having seen it a lot more, I confuse several scenes that were actually in Logan's Run that in Westworld.
Yeah.
Just somewhat similar premise of once the running starts, kind of thing. So whatever. I decided to go back and watch the original one just to compare.
Okay.
I didn't take a lot of notes, but here's one of my notes. My God, that Donnybrook scene. Fuck. There is a Donnybrook scene in this movie that is just out of fucking left field. Because, like, this movie is not jokey, and then suddenly there is a Mel Brooks-esque fucking Donnybrook scene out of nowhere.
Like, goofy feeling?
Goofy as fuck. Yeah. Like, zoinks and bonks and whoa!
70s Donnybrooks were that. There was no other way to do it. It breaks every 70s movie because it happened in all of them, and they're all zany.
I mean, this really feels like I was like, did they watch Blazing Saddles right before they shot this? Because it's the same fucking thing. I mean, like, certain dudes are, I'm super drunk. Oh, bonk on the head. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's out of fucking nowhere. It's so bizarre.
I think there was one acting troupe of people who could put on a Donnybrook, and they would just, like, hire them and be like, okay, do your thing.
Yeah.
And they would just do their thing.
So, strangely enough, I had a double dose of James Brolin because of this and watching the original Amityville, so it's kind of odd.
Yeah. You didn't watch Future World again, did you?
No.
Oh, it's so bad.
Is it?
Oh, it's terrible.
Okay.
Man.
My next one is like a super nitpick thing. Like, all right, first things first, full disclosure, like, Westworld is kind of amazing because you can watch it and realize how much DNA it's. I know a lot of people hate this movie, but it's basically like the Prometheus aliens coming and, like, dropping the seeds into the water source so that we have hundreds of other movies. It is absolutely bizarre how influential this movie is. From, you wouldn't have the Terminator without it. You wouldn't have Predator without it. You wouldn't have. You obviously wouldn't have Jurassic Park after it. I mean, it is basically the rough draft run of Jurassic Park. And on that alone, I mean, it deserves a watch because you just watch this movie and you look at the year it was made, and it's like, holy fuck, like, this is amazing how much, like, this influenced so many other things. But that Donnybrook scene, good God. My one nitpicky note that just kind of came to me is, if you don't know anything about Westworld, it's basically that there is a theme park where you can go and there's robot people, robot animals, and you can go to Westworld, Future World, Medieval World, or Roman World. And that's, I guess they were thinking they were going to make 4 movies. I don't know. But anyway, so, like, all the animals and all the horses and everything in this is animals or robots, because it's like, this is a theme park and it's all supposed to be very tightly controlled, and the robots decide, you know what, fuck this, we're tired of, like, dying every day and all this shit. So my note is, if all the robots decide fuck humans, including the snake, how come the robot horses don't also try to murder them? Because why is the I want my freedom now restrained to the humanoid robots only?
Yeah.
We've established, like, you see horses on the assembly line and being worked on, all the horses are robots too, and yet when they're running away, the horses are like, yeah, come on, let's go.
Horses like people.
No,
It's in their nature.
Not robot horses.
Yeah, they are programmed to like people.
I don't.
No,
Okay.
they're not.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, that just like that really annoyed me. That it was like,
It's like the cars in Maximum Overdrive, why
Right.
they don't get affected by everything that's going on. Who
Right.
knows? It's weird.
yeah, it's just weird because like there's even a point where it's like the snake decides to attack it when it's totally not supposed to, and it's like, well, okay, the snake did, the people did, why not the horses? Anyway, and my other note is there should have been more Yul Brynner hype man. He left us too soon. That's all. That's the only notes. There's a guy towards the end where he's a random nondescript park employee who's just like hype manning Yul Brynner up like a motherfucker, and then just immediately like mid hype, I think, gets shot by Yul Brynner from like off screen. And it's just like, oh man, because he's just like, we're fucked. Seriously, we're fucked.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, but I mean, really, the disjointed notes are just to say, if you haven't seen the original Westworld, you still should. It just be just understand the level of cheese you're getting into, but realize what year it was made, and like I said, you will see the seeds of there's 1,000 ships of sci-fi that it launched after this and everything else. So
Yeah.
I need to watch it,
yeah. I mean, it's
and I need to watch the freaking HBO show. I was so hyped for it, and then circumstances
good,
beyond my
too.
control have kept me from watching either episode so far.
Same here. I'm stoked, but I haven't gotten to it.
oh, you haven't watched any of it?
I haven't seen the premiere or the second one, so
Yeah, I haven't watched the second one yet, but that's just been a busy week.
nope.
But no, it's
Yeah,
it's
hurricanes have a way of doing
Well,
that.
like okay, so in like if this is, we'll say this is on par with Logan's Run, as far as like Logan's Run is more cheesy. I will admit that.
Yeah.
But like the new Westworld is Ex Machina. I mean, it's night and fucking day. It's like okay, like here's a serious, I mean, it's dark. It's dark as fuck, but it's still like a night and day thing.
Who's doing this with a real budget behind it, and
Yeah, and straight faced throughout. But I don't know. Do you want to talk about a movie? So you're breaking up some of what I'm saying.
I want to hear what Chuck watched.
Oh, I just want to mention, if you want to escape the current political climate, feel free to fall down a West Wing rabbit hole like I've done again for the third time. That show is simply amazing, continues to be amazing. I will never get tired of it. I will marathon that thing. I'll watch 2 or 3 episodes a day. Makes me feel better.
Glad to hear that.
It's an enjoyable television show. One of the best written things I've ever seen.
I don't think I've seen a minute of it.
It's so good. So good.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you about something else that's so good?
I do.
Shout Factory released The Thing on Blu-ray
Oh.
this week. I didn't get it yet, though, because I ordered it too late to get on the pre-order and get it delivery, all that. But I was like, fuck, I really want to watch The Thing. So, yeah, I grabbed my Universal Blu-ray and watched that again. And that is one of those movies that continues to get better every time, and I continue to find things that I missed in it every time.
Yep.
It is... That movie's a masterpiece. It genuinely is one of those movies where everything works exactly how it needed to. And I've realized I miss the pacing of, like movies like this and Alien, where you're meeting the characters. They're not necessarily likable, but they're not horror movie. Well, fuck that guy. I hope he dies.
They're regular people.
Yeah, there is nobody in that movie who is unjustified in what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like even Keith David is like, I get it. I get why you're acting like this. But yeah, I wish more movies now would have the guts to pace a scene like the one where where the cook is playing Superstition, and they go through the entire fucking complex, and you just hear it echoing, and they keep going through an empty room, and an empty room, and an empty room, and then that dog starts walking down the hallway. Who, again, I said this on Twitter, I will say it again, that dog might be one of the best acting performances of all time. Literally.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's amazing how good that dog is, because the dog is kind of likable, but that dog is fucking evil as well.
And the dog conveys it somehow.
Yeah.
Like the dog conveys what you're thinking.
Yeah. It's it's incredible. Yeah, but and in watching it too, I realized it's a movie I can never ever show my wife for obvious reasons.
Yes. Exactly.
But it's one of those things like every time I watch it, I want to be like, I want to grab people and have them sit down and watch it with me.
Yeah. It's funny on that commentary track too that the moment you're talking about is when they just start laughing and go, and that's where we lost the entire audience.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, people walked out of the theater at that point.
Yeah.
Went to go see E.T. again for the ninth time. Didn't want any part of our movie.
Yeah. And just like every performance in there too. Like all the guys, even when it's weird that I tend to forget their names.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not like, oh man, like I could name everybody on the Nostromo right now, obviously.
Yeah.
But like even with that, they're still so distinct. And like Wilford Brimley is so good in that because his freak out is the thing that like that terrible remake, you know, aside from all the other problems it had, it needed somebody to set the stakes like that.
Yeah.
And him just losing his shit and like it basically threatening to kill everyone.
Yeah.
And just
I'll kill you.
Yeah. And then like when like the scene later on when he comes and visits him in the shack and he's like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I just want to come inside.
I'm better now.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's the perfect, like, you know, he might not be infected.
Yeah.
He might just be like, guys, this sucks. But he might be infected and just being like, come on, let me in.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't say enough good things about that movie. And no dialogue for the first 5 minutes, which I love movies that set the stage like that. And that all of it is like if someone just understood Swedish.
Yeah.
Or is it Norwegian? I don't know.
I think it's Norwegian.
It's Norwegian.
Yeah.
I know Kurt Russell gets it wrong every time. That's
Yes.
why. But yeah. Yeah. And then there was also an article I read that talked about like how the scene where he's playing chess and he'd rather just fry the machine than lose to the machine, you know, kind of foreshadows the end of that movie as well. It's just really great. Like it's one of those like on Letterboxd, I don't know if I want to just like put a 5 stars and a like and say rewatched it again and just leave it or write like a fucking book about everything I love about that movie.
Yep.
Like just I could go on for fucking hours about that. That's one I'd love to do a commentary track, but there's like 6 of them on the new disc, so I think I'm set there.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's it's just one of those movies you watch and you're just like, God, like you're just so absorbed in how good it is. Like you can be aware of the filmmaking that's going on and still be like, God damn, this is good. Like where usually if I'm aware of the filmmaking going on, I'm like, eh.
Well, when it jumps back and forth from like stop motion to practical effects and then back to the actors, you're like, you know, like you see people watching it today for the first time would just be like pulled right out of it. But
that never happens.
Everything about it is so amazingly charming and awesome. Just the imagination on this is literally the movie where you tell the effects guys do whatever and they just do whatever.
Well, like the one where the head crawls down the side was like a backup.
Yes.
They had a better one and they lit it on fire by accident before they got the shot. Yeah. So they had to do another one that looks fucking amazing anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's great. I love it. And it has likable characters in it, even though it shows how you can have characters that argue and disagree with each other and still not be like, fuck all those guys, I want to die. You know, because you're obviously set up to be rooting for Kurt Russell throughout, for McCready, but...
Yeah, it's weird because you are rooting for him and you like him, but the other people who are raging about everything that's going on have a point, which is, we need to burn everything down and get the fuck out. So you're kind of on everyone's side, even though they are on opposing sides. Yeah. So that's a difficult trick to pull off. And, you know, obviously that movie does it. Yeah. It's when people ask me, like, hey, you know, what's your favorite horror movie? I said there are 2, The Thing and Poltergeist. I go back and forth to those 2, and I'm just like, that's my jam right there. Those 2 are my go-to answers. And it's so strange that those both came out the same year within weeks of each other. And it's just like, man, this is just the pinnacle of imagination and awesome filmmaking.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's Alien and...
Yeah, Alien would be up there.
Those are my 2.
Yeah.
Like, and they have such similar paces and such similar acting going on throughout, where there's a lot of half improv, half not, where it's a lot of people talking over each other and just like, you know, no big flowery speeches or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's all super practical.
And little detail. I love that they're just watching tapes of game shows. Like they brought along recorded, like Let's Make a Deals and shit like that. Like, why would you bring something that after you watch it, you know the outcome of?
Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't know. Just like these little details are so fascinating to me that are just like, oh, I've seen this one. You know, it's like, yeah.
Well, and I don't know why I never noticed it before, but when the dude gets shot in the very beginning, the bearded guy, when the dog's on him and he gets his leg grazed, Kurt Russell drops the bottle of JB next to him, and he goes, "Are you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Go check on that," and then starts swigging out of the bottle.
Yep.
It's so good. Like I don't know why I hadn't noticed that in the 20 times I've seen this before, but that one caught me. I was like, holy shit! Like he did that just so he could fucking drink the whiskey. That's great.
Yeah.
No. Anyway.
So I watched one other thing.
Yeah.
That I want to talk about.
Let's let you talk again.
I watched Luke Cage, all 13 episodes.
Oh shit. Okay. 13 of them, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's their thing. I promise I am not doing it's the latest thing I've seen, so it's the greatest thing I've seen, but I think this is Marvel's best Netflix series.
Ooh.
I know that's going to cause some contention because, you know, people love the things that they love. And don't get me wrong, I'm not putting down Daredevil and I'm not putting down Jessica Jones. I just think this, all in all, is my favorite. Reasons being, it feels like Luke Cage is now a character that's allowed to be an honest-to-God superhero and not like I have to feel bad or I have problems. I mean, he has a dark past, you know, kind of thing haunting him that he's trying to escape from, but it doesn't seem like it's all life-encompassing. Like, Jessica Jones was like, I'm drinking heavily all the time because I can't deal with this shit.
Right.
Daredevil's just... I mean,
Daredevil's all Catholic guilt.
Yeah, it's all guilt. Yeah,
and that's all the character is ever.
Sure, yeah, and like I said, but I mean, this is like honest to God television superhero guy. Like, I mean, you know, I know it's Netflix, whatever, but I'm saying like this is a guy like allowed to do superhero shit, and you're allowed to feel good about it, and root for him 100%. And like, I feel like that's the thing I've actually been wanting. I mean, like that's why I got so much joy out of Agent Carter over Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for the others television side. Is it was like, this is happy and I'm allowed to root for her, and it's not complex. It's like sometimes I just want to watch a fucking superhero thing where it's like, hooray, good guys win, bad guys lose. Yes. You know, and I mean, this is more complex than that. There's a lot going on throughout the show. But like, I mean, first off, everyone's talking about the soundtrack is fucking amazing. It's so good. Like, just wall to wall. Like, when they use licensed songs, they're good. When, you know, the built-in soundtrack is amazing. Casting wise, I think they nailed it. I mean, to me, Daredevil still had the best, like, memorable oh shit kind of scenes and stuff. And I don't know there's ever been a thing on TV, a single scene on TV I've watched more than the episode 2 of season 1 fight when he goes to rescue the kidnapped kid.
Yes. Yeah.
That one take is fucking amazing. And Jessica Jones has the best character because Kilgrave is amazing.
Yep.
Just utterly amazing. I don't know if I'd be hard pressed to find a better villain, period, like in any media. I mean, he's that good. But Luke Cage just like gets it all, like gets all the rest of it. Like, I mean, Mike Coulter just continues to be like, I mean, how they found this dude, like, where was he? Because like he's not a spring chicken. And this guy is so good. Like, I don't know how he just kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I don't, you know, I know he was in like that Halo TV thing, whatever thing they were trying to do with the tie-in of the game. And it's like, all of a sudden it's like, hey, you're Luke Cage now. And it's like, finally, like this dude is so good. Like, and so, I mean, the whole supporting cast is too. I mean, like Alfre Woodard, I always liked her. She's great. And Theo, the other person I thought was really great is Theo Rossi. I guess he was on Sons of Anarchy and never watched the show. So I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are like, yeah, that dude's great. But, you know, he was like that kind of like almost Weasley, but smart villain guy who's like the B tier, just whispering in people's ear character the whole way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was great. And again, not knocking the other two, but I felt like this was the show where to do character development, they didn't have to bring the plot to a screeching halt. It felt like constantly in Daredevil, it was like, all right, press pause on the plot. We're just going to go to the bar and drink and talk for a while and have some character interaction. And this was like, nah, build characters as things are happening. Like, shit is always constantly in motion, and we'll have our conversations, but it's like it's on the go, and it just didn't feel like the character's like, all right, it's time for some exposition.
Daredevil focused a lot more on Foggy and Karen than I would have liked, only because like they're just inherently not going to be as interesting as Daredevil.
Sure,
you know, they're his friends, but it's like, yeah, like we don't need to be focusing on you. Like, I understand we need B plots, but
right.
There were some where it felt like the episode was like, okay, this is the Foggy episode.
Yeah.
This is the Karen episode.
Exactly.
It's like, nah, we don't need that. We want the Daredevil episode. We know we know he's banged up, but get him back out doing something.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much good going on. I mean, I don't know if it was planned all. That's the thing, is like, it's so weird for them to try to. I know it's not as epic of stakes as it is like when they were trying to bring the Avengers movies together, but like trying to tie these all in seems like a fascinating and intricate little plot, and I don't know if it was planned all along or if like a gap came up in her schedule. But Rosario Dawson's character is on this a lot more. Like she's like thrown into regular cast in the beginning, for like half the season, more than half the season, I think. So she's, which is good, because I think her character's fun, and she's the thread tying all of these Heroes for Hire defenders people together.
Refresh my memory just in basic terms. About halfway through Jessica Jones, he just kind of wanders off, right? He's just like, I can't right now. I just can't. And then goes away, and then is never seen again. Like, he doesn't come back at any point in the rest of that show?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't want to give anything away, because this show is full of twists and turns and things you're not expecting in good ways. But yeah, I don't know. I really loved it beginning to end, and the soundtrack and the pacing just really helps. I mean, it made it a joy to watch, and not like, all right, they're talking while drinking again. Great. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, like, of the other 3 seasons of Marvel Netflix, there was a lot of, they're drinking again and talking. Those people drank a lot.
What's the timeline for all this? Have they kind of said? Is this happening during Jessica Jones, like months later, same time
it
as
all takes
Punisher
place,
stuff?
Yeah, it all takes place after the incident, the Avengers 1 stuff of the aliens coming through New York, because they reference that all the time. Yeah. Almost concurrently, but this is definitely after Jessica Jones, and after this happens after season 2 of Daredevil. So I think it's pretty much as they've been released is what the timeline is, more or less, because they reference Frank Castle, who was in season 2 of Daredevil, and they mentioned something about Jessica Jones. And
okay, yeah, because I need to catch up on all those. I watched that. I marathoned that first season of Daredevil, in like 3 or 4 days,
right? And
just never. Jessica Jones dropped at the wrong time, and then I started season 2 of Daredevil, and for some reason it just, like, first 2 episodes didn't click for me at all.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I will say,
I was like, well, they're doing Welcome Back Frank, all right, kind of, at least they were taking scenes from that.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a comic confession right now. I don't like the Punisher, and I never have.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know I need to go read Punisher Max, because I love Garth Ennis, and then, that's. I got all of his signature stuff on it, obviously, but I don't know. Just the Punisher, by and large, is just fucking bland. Like, I mean, I don't know. I guess if you're just I like my superheroes to be superheroes, not fucking murderers, and he's the difference between, like, Batman deciding, fuck it, I'm going to use my super toys to kill everybody. I mean, I know he's only killing bad guys, but, due process and shit, guy. I don't know. Like I said, I've always
my
always
problem with that
had a problem
character
with
is it's always been there's no hope with him.
Yeah.
Like, there's no.
He's never going to be done.
Yeah, there's no light at the end of the tunnel for him.
Right.
It's always just like this grim, horrible world that
There's the next person to punish.
Yeah, and it almost becomes like he's just like this boogeyman for bad guys, which is kind of the fun of it. Is for some reason I'll never ever get tired of like henchmen shitting themselves because they know that this guy who's going to fucking wreck them is coming.
Yeah.
Like, that will never ever get old to me.
Sure.
But
yeah, I can see that. I mean, like, I think the problem with the Punisher is it might be a cool character. He just doesn't belong in the Marvel universe. I mean, I guess you can do interesting.
Do you mean
things
like
with
the
him.
cinematic/TV one, or what?
Well, okay, if he exists in the Marvel universe, he should never be friends with any of the legit heroes. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is like Daredevil can't go like, well, all right,
Yeah.
you know, like I see, whatever you do things your way. Like, no, like,
no, you're murdering.
yeah,
dudes.
you're fucking straight up murdering dudes and like blowing up city blocks and shit. I mean, you're doing massive damage things, you know. So you're endangering other people, is what I'm saying. So, like I said, if he exists in the universe, he should be kind of a menace that the other heroes are.
He should basically be a bad guy.
Yeah, but he should be a Dexter. He's killing people, but maybe for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, so there's all that.
So
But
Luke
no.
Cage is the one you've liked best.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I just think it's fun all around. The setting feels more authentic than all the others. Like, I mean, for once I didn't feel. I know Netflix has been pretty good and gotten increasingly better, but some of the scenes in some of the earlier ones were like, you know, had that Arrested Development like green screen thing, like nondescript place. Like this was like had a very New York Harlem feel. I mean, it felt real. So, yeah, and the fun moments are fun too. Like there are funny bits, and legit funny bits, and I don't know. I liked it.
Cool.
I'm glad you liked it, because I'm going to watch it eventually.
Me too.
I feel like I need to do them all in order though, but that's a long road to travel down, because they're all 13 episodes each, right?
Yep, believe so.
Yeah. Oh well. You guys want a couple quick emails?
Sure.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of time.
Okay.
Might as well hit it, right?
Yeah, let's hit it.
Yeah. Tag it. First one up's from Mr. Spike, who says, "What the hell was that?"
Mr. Spike.
Mr. Spike. He says, "Greetings, BMFcast. Mr. Spike here. You mentioned Dreamcatcher a few episodes back. Well, it got me thinking about movies so weird in plot and directing that my only response to it is the line Barf says in Spaceballs when Lord Helmet flies over them in plaid, and Barf replies, 'What the hell was that?' The most obvious one, of course, is Zardos. But for me, it's 1992's Dust Devil, which is on Netflix, by the way. While the setup isn't too weird, a woman in South Africa is driving along a road and picks up a demonic hitchhiker, the titular Dust Devil. It's the directing and tone that's so weird. It's like if Terrence Malick and the guy who made The Exorcist 2, The Heretic, decided to make a horror movie together.
John Borman?
With nonsensical dream sequences, random shots of the desert with birds flying around, and the strangest musical score I've ever heard. After about 90 minutes of this and the credits began to roll, I shouted at the TV, "What the hell was that?" So my question to you is, have you ever seen a movie that gave you a similar feel in response to it? Crash and burn sent via astral projection. Mr. Spike.
Mr. Spike.
Mr. Spike.
Mr. Spike.
Mr. Spike. Man, Forbidden Zone is the only thing that really comes to mind right now.
As far as what the hell movies?
Yeah, as far as just like, I don't comprehend anything that you were going for in this movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, no one prepared me properly before I watched Razorhead for the first time, so no one gave me that, like, get ready for your mind to be fucked with.
There's a lot of David Lynch that falls in that category as far as, like, I need to unpack this. Like,
yeah, and for whatever reason, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not my enduring favorite one, but man, I latched onto and decided I was going to decipher Lost Highway. I don't know why. That was my one. I was like, that's the hill I'm going to die on, is I'm going to fucking figure out Lost Highway. I don't know that I ever did, but
it's a Mobius strip.
Yeah. So I'll just say that. But that's a given. And anything Cronenberg, same boat. Lynch, Cronenberg, just always the what the fuck camp.
Yeah, I would say Cronenberg, especially later Cronenberg, where he just got all fleshy and gooey. Like,
later he just became making normal shit. I mean,
well, but like Existence, where it's like some weird fleshy, gooey video game system or something. And
well, there was that. I mean, Videodrome was just as fleshy and gooey.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's just that kind of era of Cronenberg, where because like The Fly is pretty straightforward, and Scanners is pretty straightforward. And
are you really? The Fly's got some of the worst body horror stuff in it.
Yeah, it does, but it's a straightforward horror movie. It's just it's grotesque, but it's not like you're not scratching your head.
Yeah,
like, what the hell is happening?
Naked Lunch, which is definitely high.
Naked Lunch.
That's very high on the what the fuck list.
Yeah,
Or What the Hell, if you prefer.
I mean, I would say kind of at the time, Barton Fink was a movie where I was just like, man, what on earth was going on there? Yeah, it was around that time, Barton Fink and Naked Lunch, where my cinematic mind was just like, man, I've gotten real stupid or movies have gotten way above me. I just don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, it's, speaking of Cronenberg, I felt that way watching Dead Ringers.
Yeah.
Because you get to the end of it, and I'm just like, I know there was a point there. I know it was there, but I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why I just sat through this.
There was that era of just mindfuck movies, because, like, Jacob's Ladder was a thing, and they weren't necessarily twist movies, but they were just, like, when you get to the end, you're like, wait, what? And then the movie ends, you're like, hold on, that's not...
Yeah. I feel like this is a giant basket we could lump movies in on, because I'm just thinking about, like, now we have Lars von Trier pops into mind. It's like, I don't even know if... I mean, you can interpret things, obviously.
Yeah.
I think dude's smart. He's read some things and was like, I'm going to put that to film. But, fuck, if I want to. Like, just...
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like that Malik movie, the most recent one, is
that's pretty what the fuck, yeah.
Is the thing.
Well, and suddenly Tree of Life just going like, here's the beginning of the universe. That's pretty what the fuck out there.
Yeah. But, Tree of Life kind of clicked with me. Something about that movie, like, I felt satisfied at the end of that. Like, yeah, all right.
So, where's your demarcation point if you don't like you didn't like Thin Red Line?
I don't like Thin Red Line.
What about it? Did you watch his old ones ever? Days of Heaven, Badlands?
I love Badlands. Badlands and Tree of Life.
Yeah.
I enjoy. Everything else is just kind of like, I really don't care.
I prefer Days of Heaven so much more to Badlands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Thin Red Line is so good.
It is dead.
It is so
But
good.
I saw Badlands after True Romance, which for me was like, oh, okay. That's why True Romance exists, because Badlands is the same goddamn movie.
Yeah.
With the same score. They really ripped off Badlands, so that made me really like Badlands.
Badlands.
Yeah.
Badlands.
No, you said it like
I know.
six times in the
Badlands.
last couple sentences.
Dust Devils from the guy who made Hardware, so tread lightly into that. Yeah. So,
Man.
and the guy who made Island of Dr. Moreau.
Ooh, that one.
If I can take the
that guy's
opportunity,
got some history.
Yeah, but if I can take the opportunity again to tell you to watch that documentary about the Island of Dr. Moreau, that is one of the most amazing things about filmmaking that I've seen in quite a long time. So, and I'm sure the Island of Dr. Moreau is one of those, just like, what is happening here?
I've seen the movie. I don't remember it being that out there, but I mean, I kind of knew what to expect going in.
Okay.
I knew the story. So
Yeah.
people, I mean, sure, yeah, the whole movie's a furry's wet dream, but I mean, there's like Farouja Balk and there's a fucking cat lady and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird.
All right, Chuck.
Badlands.
Badlands. All right. I'll read another one here from Pierre,
Oh,
who says, "Bad weather movies." It's the title of the email.
is that our new podcast?
Maybe. Hey, guys. Long time, no time. Taking advantage of a rare day off and stuck indoors during a rather sudden snowstorm. About a foot fell in 24 hours.
Wait, what?
Even in Canada, that's a bit more than usual.
All right.
I hunkered down and watched some bad weather movies. First, I watched Hard Rain, a not terrible, not awful movie set during a bad storm where Christian Slater decides to rob his own armored car. It has Morgan Freeman in it. Somewhere in the movie, Randy Quaid shows up playing what I'm certain is himself. You all right there, Chuck?
It has Morgan Freeman in
It does. That is a very good selling point of that movie. The movie is set in a flooded city. It is meandering and mediocre, much like my description. I'm pretty sure Chuck talked about it once.
Yeah.
This one was out of sympathy for the hurricane woes. Then I watched Cliffhanger. This movie has aged well. It's still fun and exciting, and with a peak Stallone performance, it was great. Credit to John Lithgow for playing a great villain. Thoughts on this one? Finally, I watched Ice Station Zebra for the first time in its entirety. I'd seen it in chunks, but never in one sitting. Truly a great movie. Keep up the great work. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving, and I hope everyone that got hit by Matthew is all right and recovers. Pierre. We're all fine. BJ's not here, but he's fine.
Yeah. He'll be back.
Well, when he said he watched Hard Rain, I was like, was this like being locked in for the hurricane? Because I was looking for movies like that. I watched The Mighty Wind.
That's not... No.
What? I would have watched Into the Storm, but I would have had to get up and get the Blu-ray.
Oh, well.
Oh, man. Times are tough.
So 3 days you just sat in a chair. Hurricanes outside. Can't get up.
Well, I can watch Into the Storm, but that's tornadoes and not hurricane. Yeah, fuck it. It's on Blu-ray anyway, so I don't want to get up.
What have we become?
Well, when you have a digital movie library available to you,
Really a
Yeah.
horrible world where one must get up and physically put a disc in the drive.
I know.
The struggle is real.
I knew it didn't mean anything as far as the storm, but I was like, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's just a mighty win. It's funny. Also, if you haven't seen the preview for Mascots on Netflix, you should if you're a Christopher Guest fan.
Yeah. Okay.
Hard Rain's all right. It does have Morgan Freeman in it. It's just something broken about that movie. It should be better than it is. So that's a movie where everyone's kind of a shitbird. Where you're just like, who cares?
Not rooting for anybody.
No. Like everyone has a heel turn in that and no one ever has a face turn. You're just like, yeah, all right, you're all increasingly levels of shitty. Who cares? Drown. Die.
Sounds a lot like the late 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of anti-heroes.
Yeah, you're
going
exactly
around.
right. What was the second one?
He had...
Hard Rain, not Ice Station Zebra, but the one before it.
Oh, God. Now I lost the email. Oh, Cliffhanger.
Oh, right, yeah. Man, that was from John Lithgow's.
I've seen that once,
I've never seen it.
I saw it in the theater.
and I did not like it.
I've
And
seen the opening scene.
I was big into like Stallone things at the time, and I don't know why I didn't like Cliffhanger.
Maybe put it on the podcast.
I am definitely willing to watch it again because I often think, why didn't I like this movie?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I very obviously understand why I didn't like Judge Dredd,
Of course it's 2 hours. Son of a bitch.
but you know,
Yeah, no, I saw it in the theater. I liked it, but that movie, John Lithgow makes that movie. That's from the era of John Lithgow being the absolute fucking crazy person that he.
Well, that's also
excels
the
at
era where
being.
everybody wanted to play the villain.
Yes, when it was
Which is
it was a
good.
fight to get
Yeah.
your crazy people to be villains in something.
Yeah. That might be what endures from the 90s, is
Yeah.
like guys doing crazy villain performances.
Yes.
I think it should come back. Like honestly, I mean, I don't want to get into the whole like, oh, I'm a bigger star kind of thing. Like I think it should be based on like screen time and whatnot. But like, man, when you like I think about Batman and like Jack Nicholson's build higher than Michael Keaton. The Joker's build higher than Batman.
Yeah.
That fucking says something, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was also Jack fucking
I
Nicholson.
know it's him,
But yeah.
but yes, I'm just saying like that. There's something to be said about like the villain stealing the performance of a movie is.
That's
Yeah,
why I
pretty
was
awesome.
so
And that's-
stoked about the second Avengers movie, because even though he's just a voice, James Spader fucking owns that movie.
Yeah.
Just owns it as a voice of a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just has lots of other problems. Yeah, I know he's good. I'm
Yeah,
just saying the movie
yeah.
as a whole has problems.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's, the Marvel movies, it's like they can't let the villains overshadow the heroes almost, because like the franchises are built around the heroes. And that's been the most frustrating thing, is like, stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, fuck this guy, I don't care.
Yeah, well,
both Thor movies.
Ronan is probably the weakest of all.
Yeah,
of them.
well, the dude in the second Thor movie was like, yeah, whatever. The big elf guy from the
Christopher
dude who
Eccleston.
was on Doctor Who. Yeah.
He
Like,
was in the second Thor movie?
Yeah,
yeah.
he had them all in makeup. It was
I thought
hard
he was
to
in
tell.
the first one.
No, the first one was
just
Loki.
Straight up Loki in the first
Okay,
one.
I thought he was like the second.
Which even like Loki, everyone like loves Loki, but I'm kind of like, he's not that.
I think my favorite villain in the Marvel universe, honestly, is the guy from Zemo from Civil War, because like I know a lot of people hate that character.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fucking great because it's a Bond-like long-term plan to fuck
Yeah.
shit up in a fantastic way.
Yeah.
And that to me is like, whenever like a plan like that is revealed in a movie, it's just like, oh shit. Like I like that better than like the I am a villain sometimes,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so John Lithgow.
But
Yeah.
I mean that could be fun, but I'm just saying like
I don't think any of them get to ham it up. Is the thing, like the way the Marvel movies are constructed, none of the villains are like really get to ham it up. Like Loki, kind of, they're like, and if they do, people are just gonna be like, oh, you're just trying to do a Loki thing, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the feeling I have with it, and that's a bit frustrating. But it's not like, aside from Spider-Man, it's not like a ton of them of the Marvel characters are known for their
Oh,
villains.
and they could have let Willem Dafoe go unhinged in the original Spider-Man. I mean, put that stupid mask on him, and it's like, you got fucking Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
His face is a mask.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Still makes me angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Anyway, that's why you should probably watch the TV shows more. Because, like I said, Kilgrave.
Yes.
And the folks in Luke Cage are pretty good. They're not Kilgrave, but they're good. Oh,
Well, cool. Yeah, I don't have any bad weather movies.
I
I'd
just
say
wanna-
The Thing because they get snowed in. At
That's
one
true.
point,
Yeah,
but
it is bad weather.
Yeah,
I just want to say we should watch Ricochet.
that's come up
Okay.
quite a few times.
Yes, it needs to happen. It
Yeah.
really does. Ricochet is so good.
Yeah. All right.
And it's so dumb.
I believe you. I believe you, Chuck.
And it exists in the Lethal Weapon universe.
Oh, good.
all right.
Yep. It's true.
Is Mr. Joshua in it?
No.
Oh.
No, but Ice-T is.
Oh. You got me back.
Okay.
Ice-T?
Yes.
Is he part of the-
Tea.
Part of the Lethal Weapon universe?
No, he is not. The
What?
tie.
Huh?
How is the movie How is the movie connected to the Lethal Weapon universe, but Ice-T is not? If he's in the movie.
All right, don't explain it.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
Fine.
All right. So anyway,
Well, you just totally threw me off of like Ice-T. I'm like, did he ever show up in a Lethal Weapon movie?
No, I was saying also in addition to.
right.
Oh, okay. So unrelated.
Yeah.
Just random Ice-T.
And I fucked
Nah,
up. It's
Lemonade.
It's not connected to. It's not Lethal Weapon. It's Die Hard. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's connected to the Die Hard universe.
Oh,
Okay.
So.
So he's a Gruber.
Yes, Ice-T is a Gruber.
Yeah, he's one of the Gruber. He's the. I'm their adopted brother.
Thaddeus.
Hans was my boy.
Thaddeus Gruber.
Thrifty.
Yeah.
The T stands.
That's a good joke.
It was.
Yeah. Anyway,
Ice-T lizard.
I guess it's contact information time, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we should. BJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not here.
Oh.
But yeah, go to bmfcast.com. Check us out, youtube.com/bmfcast, Twitter,
Pretty much
Facebook,
everything.
all of them.
Yeah. There's buttons for on the side of the main BMFcast page,
Yep.
so just go there.
And iTunes. We got a new review, so thank you.
Is it good?
Yeah, it was a 5-star review. So
Oh,
we,
good.
we
like
appreciate
those.
reviews. You know, it helps.
I prefer 1 star. You guys suck.
No.
No?
Those do get us talking more.
On our Slack, we don't go too public with it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Because we don't want to, like, sick people on somebody, be like, oh, who is this son of a bitch?
Yeah, no.
But, yeah, there was one person who complained that I'd like the show better if you watched movies I'd heard of, 1 star. And it's like, whatever, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So,
Trying to
whatever.
educate you, but if
But
you
no.
don't want our education, that's fine.
But yeah, if you haven't left a review, we'd appreciate it on
Yeah.
iTunes. And we have the Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Patreon.com/BMFcast.
Yep. As I mentioned, we just started a new BMFcast Extra. We're hopefully maybe going to put out another BBS at some point in time.
Yeah, we haven't been together much lately to record any extra
So
bonus stuff.
I apologize, patrons, if you're looking for that. But
It's been a weird few weeks. We gotta get back into a routine.
Chuck got a new car.
Yeah,
that messes all up.
It's everything's different.
I know that sounds weird, but we had a specific way we mounted our recorder
Yeah.
in the car, and
Yeah.
that changed. Yeah. So, but we're doing
But
the
yeah,
extra
but you'll
series.
get the bonus one, all the Amityville stuff. You get it a month before anybody else does. So
Yes.
And we try to make it fun, not just like we're not just trying to specifically talk every point of the movie. We get into arguments and do stupid things.
I enjoyed listening to those episodes.
Okay.
It was like I was like, wow, I feel like a listener now.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what we've talked about. And I know I'm never going to watch any of those movies, so
Well,
that was
you
kind of
should
fun.
watch 1 or 2.
Yeah, some of them are pretty
I
good.
did hear that Weekend at Bernie's is one of the most influential movies of all time.
That's true.
He does make that point.
I
have
do
heard
believe that came up.
But neither of us remember why.
I have a vague recollection of why.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember you saying it. I
Yeah.
just don't remember what
Without
came after
Weekend at
that.
Bernie's, you would not have Swiss Army Man. I believe was part of what the,
Things of the ilk.
Okay, fair enough.
and you wouldn't have Pretending the Corpse is Alive movies,
Yes.
of which Weekend at Bernie's 2.
Hmm.
And I don't.
Hey, that's
think
pretty
there are any
historically
other-
significant.
Absolutely.
I don't think there are any. Barry Bostwick's in
Name
that
me
one.
another movie where the one of the main characters was dead and they made a sequel. That's like John Dies at the End 2.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, you get that early. It's $1's the lowest level and gets you good stuff. Mm-hmm. And, of course, there's other perks as you go up. But we appreciate everyone that's already subscribed. And
Yes, thank you.
yeah. Otherwise, check it out, BMFcast.com. You'll find everything else you need.
Did you mention the Garfield phone? BMFcast hotline?
Yeah, I was about to say, including the Garfield phone. BMFcast hotline, 910-5-JOCKS-BMF, 910-556-9263. I called it. We didn't even use it.
Nah.
But you know what? It works.
Right. We've deleted his voicemail. Now there's room for yours.
Yep.
Exactly.
So,
And my contact information.
So while you're traveling somewhere, please call us.
Yeah, I called you from an airport, I
know.
believe. So there you go.
Well, let's get at it.
All right.
Let's get out of here, shall we?
Let's.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm Chuck.
And this is BAMFcast out.
Motherfucker. All right, quick, do the thing.
Quick, do the thing. I do the thing.
Yeah, you got to do the intro. Oh, do we have to log off for you to do the intro?
I don't need music. Because Chuck's probably, well, we might even use other music.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to slow it down anyway.
Yeah.
I got to go.
Did I ever give you one of these?
No.
Here.
Thanks.
This was for you.
An Xbox One hat.
Ended up in a box and forgot I had it.
Oh,
I
man.
don't have one of those.
Well, it was for him.
Oh, okay.
Smells
smell
like
it.
box.
Well.
Where's my PS4 hat? Where's my PC hat? PC gaming is the future hat.
Sony friends.
Oh, a Velcro even.
Yeah.
God damn.
It's
Sorry.
a classy hat.
It's from the launch. I should have given it to you like 3
launch?
years ago.
I've been sitting on this for the shit.
We're about
Sorry.
we're about to put out an Xbox 2.
Yeah. This came out like 3 years ago.
I was bored during the hurricane. I was like, let me see what's in this box. I'm like,
so you're
oh.
just diving through your dumpster and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, here's
yes,
a hat
I was,
for Mackie.
I was diving through my house dumpster. It's like, what's in here?
Yeah,
Oh,
your humpster.
Mackie's hat.
Humpster.
Tumblr.com. So,
That was my nickname back in college. They called me the Humpster.
Fuck's sake. All right, I'm out of here.
All right.
Have
Bye.
fun recording the closing.
Yeah.
intro.
Good night, everyone on YouTube chat.
Good night, you princes of Maine.
Good night.
Have a
of
nice
New England.
life. Enjoy everything that life offers you.
Farewell.
All right.
And watch the thing.
Yeah, I'm shutting this off because I'm not going to try to do this while
All right,
people are
good
watching
night.
me. I can't do it while you're watching.